help Missouri prosper. But the key ones right now, in my mind, are the whole educational choice. We've got to begin competing with other states and providing a more robust educational choice option for our parents. And then the taxpayer bill of rights, because spending's out of control in this state. We ought to be able to keep what we earn, and we need to return the money back to the people rather than allowing government to grow unchecked.
We need a Missouri Doge, right?
Yes.
Basically, that is correct.
So let's talk about taxes. I heard Frank Catanzaro yesterday with Ben Keithley on with the afternoon show, and they're going to start with the state income tax to eventually try to get that to zero. But the personal property tax thing, I think, is really what kills Missourians. Because when I got to tell you, when we moved here from New Jersey, we were like, wait a minute, we already paid tax on this car when we bought it. What the heck's going on here? Is that part of this too, the personal property tax?
In the taxpayer bill of rights, it sure is.
Yeah.
Because, there's no cap on that. With our real property, you're supposed to roll back the taxes so that if the government wants to expand it, voters get to have a say. That's not true with personal property tax. And we saw what happened when during COVID, used car prices skyrocketed. We were all paying a lot more in personal property tax. And so the taxpayer bill of rights is meant to really cap all taxes, again, keeping the growth of government under control. And then to the extent that our revenues grow, give it back to the people in the way of tax cuts, refunds. But the bottom line is, if government's going to grow, and I would argue at the municipal or at the state level, taxpayers should be able to weigh into that and have a say.
I agree. I think taxpayers should have had or citizens, I should say, should have had a better say in the Amendment 3 from this past election and the Initiative Petition Reform Act, because people, I think, signed that petition not knowing what they were signing, because we said this yesterday. They stand at Walmart and, hey, would you like to sign a petition for women's health? And they never mentioned the word abortion, so I think we kind of got hoodwinked in that one.
Well, as we know, with these ballot initiatives, the way they phrase the summary of it can have a big impact on what they're conveying. And we've seen that in a number of cases where the devil's in the details not in the summary.
Right. All right, let's get back to taxes. So what's the timeline on, let's say, state income tax, getting that down to zero?
Well, again, that sort of depends upon our leadership, because the reality is that if you could get our budget under control, you could begin cutting income taxes now. The obligations we currently have on our plate would require that there be a gradual reduction in it. But, if you have a governor who's willing to come in and do something like, in fact, Ronald Reagan did it when he became governor of California.
Right.
Create a task force, take a look at all your programs, say, where can we cut? And by the way, put in measures for outcomes, not these outputs, but actually put in metrics for performance and hold people accountable. Who knows what we could cut from our government budget? It really is something that we've never done in Missouri. We always start with last year's budget and add to it. No one's done a performance audit of our various departments. And I have a sneaking suspicion, Vic, that we might find that a number of these executive departments aren't really doing much in the way of advancing the interest of Missourians.
Yeah. So what is Mike Kehoe's thoughts on all this taxpayer and school choice?
Well, we are cautiously optimistic, because when he was running for governor and after he was elected, he talked about the fact that we needed more educational choice, that we needed to begin really putting in a greater menu of options for our parents. And he's been talking about cutting our income tax and taking it to zero. So we're hopeful that he will follow through on what he was talking about when he was stumping to be governor.
I don't know if this is stupid or not. I mean, it's coming from me, so it probably is. When Governor Parson was governor, I remember I was actually at another radio station, and I made a joke because the news story was, Governor Parson, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, our governor's name is Parson? I mean, I couldn't even remember his name. I want somebody more out there, more Trump-like, more visual, more louder,
I would say, Vic, what you want is a leader who has a vision, articulates it, and implements it, rather than someone who just sits in the rocking chair on the front porch of the governor's mansion.
Drinking some lemonade. All right. School choice. The pushback on school choice from the left, I read their things on social media, and I'm not sure they get it. I'm not sure they get school choice. Is there anything in this blueprint from Missouri to help explain it to the people on the left who have a hard time understanding logic?
Well, I would say anyone who has an average IQ would be able to understand these particular proposals. Other states have implemented robust school choice programs. And what have we seen? We've seen all schools improve. This is, when we talk about school choice, we're not talking about eliminating public schools. We're actually talking about making them better, because competition makes things better. I mean, it's sort of like as night follows day.
Mhm.
And what we have seen, and the common argument I hear from the left is, we just need more money. Well, we've been throwing a lot of money at the school issues. I think with COVID and the recent influx of federal dollars in Missouri, I think the average expenditure is like over $18,000 per pupil. Now that's going to come back down because the federal government is pulling back on some of their funding, but we'll be around $15,000. We've been throwing a lot of money at the problem, and it hasn't worked. So let the market work. Florida's done that. Texas has done that. Arizona's done that. I mean, that's where you're going to see results.
We're talking to Brenda Talent, CEO from the Show Me Institute. Who's some of the brain power behind this 2025 blueprint? Who did you work with on getting this thing done?
Well, it's all of our experts. And, we've got Chief Economist Aaron Hedlund. We have a Director of Municipal Policy, David Stokes. I mean, our scholars are the ones who worked on this. And the sad thing, Vic, and I will say it's a sad thing, none of these ideas are new except a couple of them. We've added some new issues because we're now tackling energy too. We really think that when we talk about ensuring that we have energy independence, nuclear energy has to be part of that equation. The other green, if you will, options like solar, windmills, they're intermittent. They are not reliable. So we need to really talk about ensuring that we have a reliable energy source. So that's a new issue. But for our other issues, these issues have been around. We've seen other states act on them. The sad part is that we haven't had the leadership and the will in our state to put these kinds of policies in place. And look, we're competing with other states to draw businesses, to draw families. If we don't get our act together, we're going to continue losing out to other states. Arkansas, who's embraced school choice and wants to take their income tax down. Iowa, Tennessee, that doesn't have an income tax. I mean, we need to really bring ourselves into the current century and get serious about being competitive.
We have a little different title for David Stokes. We call him Heavyweight Champion of Municipal Policy, David Stokes. Because he boxed when he was a kid. Did you know that? Do you know David boxed when he was a kid?
Yes, I do. And I know he was a bouncer too.
Oh, now we need something else for him too. Like bouncer and heavyweight
from the movie Roadhouse or something.
Yeah. He's great. I swear to God, our conversations with David are just awesome, whether we agree or disagree, which I guess brings me to a point inadvertently that everybody that works at Show Me is okay with having a debate about things. David and I went at it with the senior tax freeze, right? And he was like, well, a young couple who are just starting out, they deserve it. And I'm like, what? They have. Anyway, it was an argument, but it was a good conversation, and we walked away smiling. So,
well, that's what look. We're a think tank, right?
Yeah.
If we've got facts wrong, we want to know. If we're analyzing it wrong, we want to know. We're trying to get to the right result from a free market perspective, and if the free market doesn't offer a solution, we want to know that. We talk about facts and fair argument. That's what we want. And if we're heading down the wrong path, we'd like somebody to straighten us out. David and I, I completely understand the free market theory behind not having the tax freeze. And as I told David, just like in Missouri, we have all of these tax credits, which are horrible.
Yeah.
Government should not be picking winners and losers. But I'm not going to fault anyone for taking advantage of what the government has put in place. What the government needs to do is make taxes fair and low. That's what they need to do to everyone.
Right. That makes sense to me. All right. I know I'm jumping around here a little bit, but can we get back to the solar and wind thing? It's easier to understand the failure of wind farms. It's easier to see when you're on the East Coast. I'm from New Jersey originally, and all along the coast of New Jersey and other states are these wind farms. And all of a sudden, all these whales are dying because the wind farms are blowing them out of the water onto the beach. And I always say, back in the day, it was like, save the whales, right? All the libs are like, save the whales. And now it's like, forget the whales. Let's put up the wind farms. I mean, I think it's easier to see when you're there, when you actually see the dead whales on the beach, than actually being in the middle of the country where we are. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, we've also seen in, the Midwest what it does to the bird population.
Right. So, all right. 2025 blueprint from Missouri. I'm sure we can get it at showmeinstitute.org. Is that right?
It is. Go to our website. It's right there, front and center. Click on it. You can download it. We will have printed copies. If someone's interested, contact our office. But you can get it online right now.
Perfect. Brenda, thank you so much. You're always great to, fill us in on these great things. And I love this blueprint from Missouri. It's just great. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
You too. All right. Well, stuff my stocking. We want to stuff your stocking with some great gifts from our great sponsors in our stocking stuffer giveaway. By the way, if you're on social media, you're going to see some of the fat, ugly Santa and his elf videos that have repopulated, and they're fun. And we're doing it again, Conservative Christmas. So you could win like gift cards from Tropical World Pets on Watson and Crestwood, or Woodson Stonefire Pizza on West Clay and St. Charles. How do you win? Just go to NewstalkSTL.com, fill out the stuff there, and good luck. We hope you win. It's our Conservative Christmas from 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk. Mr. Connor's Neighborhood is next.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Now, my mamaw died shortly before I left for Iraq in 2005. And when we went through things, we found 19 loaded handguns.
The roughest, toughest hombre has ever crossed the Rio Grande.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
No idea. Mama was the roughest, toughest hombre this side of the Rio Grande.
I wouldn't want to mess with her.
No, I would not. 19 loaded handguns.
Yeah.
All right. So Chris Cooper, we had a little get together last night with our clients, right?
Fun,
sponsors,
blast.
advertisers here at the radio station. Very well attended. It was packed, and we hung out and we talked to people, and Chris Cooper was there. And he is just, I'm telling you, he's just a guy that you want to hang around with. He's a guy you want to be around.
Yeah.
So he's coming in next week, and we're going to talk about his radio show, because he says that he doesn't talk about his radio show enough. So we're going to help him talk about his radio show, which is called Serenity Wealth Now, not called Fun with Finance.
But it is Fun with Finance.
You know what? It could be both. It could be a subtitle,
it
right?
Is fun. It is Fun with Finance, but the name is
Serenity Wealth Now.
Right.
And it's on Sunday mornings at 9:00. So be sure you're tuned in this Sunday to listen to Chris Cooper. He's going to tell you important things about you and your money. He's not going to do it in a stale, boring way. Okay. He's going to do it in an exciting way, a funny way, a fun way, and a fun with finance. No, it's not that. But he's a good guy. And he, like, when you think of it in terms of when you fill out your will, right? I leave all my money to the government. No, you don't want to do that, because you do that through taxes. I leave all my money to the medical or care community. No, don't want to do that. How about your kids or the charity of your choice? That's the way to go. So find out more about it. Get Chris's new book. It's called The New Holistic Retirement, and it's available right now at SerenityNowTax.com, SerenityNowTax.com, and listen to Chris's show Sunday at 9 called Serenity Wealth Now. Serenity!
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Serenity now!
From home improvement to replacement, Do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Hey, Columbo here for Rockwood Charcoal. Rockwood is made from 100% pure Missouri oak and hickory, so you're cooking with the best and supporting local industry and a local business all at once. There's over 100 area Rockwood retailers. Find yours at rockwoodcharcoal.com.
Looking for an underwater adventure or a scaly new friend? Dive into Tropical World Pets on Watson Road. For 32 years, this family-owned wonderland has been St. Louis's go-to destination for all things aquatic and reptilian. With over 7,000 square feet of aquariums, we're home to the area's largest selection of freshwater fish, including rare cichlids you won't find anywhere else. But that's not all. We've got tarantulas, snakes, and lizards galore. Tropical World Pets, 314-849-4020, or visit twpstl.com.
Your heating system isn't getting any younger, and waiting might cost you big. Katie here at Elite Comfort Experts. With new government mandates and 2025 manufacturer price hikes, delaying a replacement means paying more. But here's the good news. You can save now with tax credits, utility rebates, and easy financing. No gimmicks, just guarantees. Don't wait for your old furnace to quit for good. Call Elite Comfort Experts today and replace your system before prices go up. Call Elite at 636-887-0971.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
What citizen wouldn't want to make America great again?
Live and local.
You lose, you Dixon Notch. Yeah. You lost America. I saw it etched on a coin somewhere.
This is News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
It's Friday.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Sure is. Good morning and welcome to it. I'm Vic Porcelli. That is Ken Williams over there. Coming up at 10:41, we're going to spin the Wheel of Audio Clips. The penultimate spins of the Wheel of Audio Clips. Next week will be our last Wheel of Audio Clips for the year.
For the year, yeah.
Chat box promise at 10:05. So load them up, everybody. Get in there, get in the chat box, start writing. You got plenty of time. Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at redstate.com. Jay Ashcroft coming in at 9:41. And right now, it's time for Mr. Connor's Neighborhood, who was at our party last night and still made it here on time. Well done.
St. Louis, it's Mr. Connor's Neighborhood.
Good morning, Mr. Connors.
Good morning, gentlemen. What a great party we did have, and for all of our clients that came. And Susie and I were talking last night with her husband, Dave, about all the turnout. We were just talking about it. And Tom Wellington and his wife, Debbie, came and brought me a bottle of Jack.
Oh, I didn't get to see him. I didn't get to meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then several others that were here, Mark Zellinger, Renewal by Anderson. I mean, Chris Cooper was here. Yeah. Good God, I can't even begin to think of all. I mean, the enthusiasm, the excitement. And we need to take a moment, all of us, to thank Michelle Rush for putting all that together. She made all of that happen. And I mean, she pulled me aside yesterday and she said, Larry, I know you always want to help. Just stay out of my business.
She is like superhuman. She
really is. I want to say hello to Tim Jones's parents. They are amazing.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I got to talk to them. And then you had Rick Pogue and Jake come in from Johnny's Hideout. And
John Heslop from
Johnny and he met somebody last night. Well, Michael Proctor was there, and he was saying, "Well, I can never find your charcoal." He said, "It's everywhere."
I saw Tim's mom in the hallway here, and we had a 10-minute conversation about The Price is Right and Bob Barker. Because we did that on the deli.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kathy and Rob Connor, we were talking with they were talking with my wife, and come to find out, Kathy and my wife have a lot in common of where they were raised and all that. So they're going to go out tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is that why this $100 bill is sitting over
there? Yes, that's exactly it.
Is that for you or them?
That's for them.
Oh, good for you.
Also, Frankie Campbelletta.
Yes.
From the Haunted Garage.
Right. Yeah, they were there. And he's Columbo and the Fisherman.
He wants to come in Frankie wants to come in and be on the show.
Yeah.
And he's going to bring, this is a word neither of you have probably ever heard before. He's going to bring Zapola.
Never heard that.
It's an Italian pastry that.
Oh, it's a pastry. Well, so you would know then.
I would. Why? What are you trying to say?
He would know.
What are you saying?
Because it's an Italian pastry. No, it's a. And Vic and I were sitting off at the corner last night talking about Sicario, the movie, the Hitman.
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
so good. All right, let's get serious.
Okay.
So let's talk about Luigi Mangione.
I don't mention his name.
It turns out United Healthcare wasn't even his health insurance.
No, it wasn't.
So he was just looking for a rich guy to shoot.
Well, this he had found out that they were the largest, and he was staking out to take this guy down. And I'm not appalled. It's just the words I cannot use on the air, that folks are praising him and glorifying him and trying to. They put up wanted posters of his victim on places and put an X to it like he'd been taken down. I mean, come on.
So many bad ramifications can come of attitudes like that.
Now what if it happened with one of the other side, a Democrat? I mean, if he had been a black man shot by a white man, even if he was healthcare CEO, I will guarantee you there would have been all kinds of noise. And I think most of our nation is trying to get away from that racism, but they will push it every time they can. And now what they do is glorify a killer, saying, let's see more of his abs, talk about his abs, how well built he is.
Larry, that is such a great point. I believe, and I firmly believe this about the American people, that if the Democrats didn't divide us by race,
right,
if they just let it go, stop talking about it, it would naturally start to just go away.
It would.
You're always going to have racists and supremacists.
Well, I actually thought back in, when I was early 20s, I thought racism will be gone in 5 years or so. I was that naive because, we just don't, especially when you see Alabama recruiting black players and you got musicians that are playing there where they're black. I mean, it's over. We don't have that anymore. No, we still have people who want to make an issue and make money off of it.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Obama was supposed to be the post-racial president.
Right.
And that didn't work out so well.
He divided us more than I think any president in modern history.
He did. In the last 4 years, he could have been a real statesman and brought us back together, and he did not.
All right, getting back to this kid. So, I mean, he came from a hugely rich family. Right? His father is a real estate magnate, millions and millions of dollars.
They own several healthcare companies.
They also own assisted living.
Yeah, that's what I meant by healthcare
facilities, right? Which costs at least $5,000 a month.
Right.
So his father is charging people $5,000 a month to live at these assisted living places. Maybe he just should have went after his own father. Not shoot him, but
it's a whacked out mind. I mean, and it's just, but what really upsets me is the glorification of him, and the guy that tried to kill Trump, good thing that they did take him out. Of course, some of them still want to try to do it, and they're still concerned that we're going to have a couple more attempts before the inauguration day
on Trump.
Yes,
I agree. So isn't it odd, Larry, that we know so much about this kid? We know so much about him, but we still don't know anything about the two would-be assassins.
Yeah. We just, they're not getting that report out. They just keep holding. When Kash Patel gets in there, the barrier is broken.
Yeah. So this new administration, I think it's going to make people's heads just spin around. With Doge, they're going to get rid of entire agencies, possibly.
Listener Barbara, she's on the stream and she wants to know, since you brought up Kash Patel, do you guys think that Kash Patel is going to let us know whose cocaine it was in the White House?
Who killed Kennedy? Was that what was the question?
And that.
Oh, what was the question?
Whose cocaine was in the White House?
Yeah, I think we all know. We all know. And you give Hunter 5 years without daddy's protection as president, you're going to see it all come back again.
So what about all the pardons and the clemency? More than any president in modern history. They
Yeah.
ever say modern history, but
probably history.
It
right.
is. It is. I mean, you know, he got authority to do it. In some cases, it might be justified, but then they forget how Trump reached in and pardoned a woman who was, you know, had been jailed for years on a drug charge.
Alice Johnson.
Yeah,
The
that's right,
grandmother,
Alice
yeah.
Johnson. I'm glad you brought her name up. And they just wipe right past that. Like Trump was such a mean man, he wants to lock everybody up.
he's a racist.
Yeah,
But he
right,
got a black
right,
woman out of jail.
right.
So
I just want, you know, I had a frightening thought on the way in here today.
oh my
based
God,
off
I
of
got to
our
be on
party.
Vic's show. Was that what the thought
No,
was?
I was thinking about our party last night. Like you said, the good vibes and everything. And here's a preface. This will be my commentary next week.
Ooh.
Please do not lose control of your car. I want to say this. If Trump had lost, you want to think about what it would be like the next 4 years?
It'd be terrible.
Yeah. I mean, everything they were doing, they would amplify up and it would just be out of control.
Regulation, authoritarianism.
Yep.
It would have been. Well, look at Kamala. She told us that. I mean, she telegraphed that before she was even running that
Right.
she was going to be that person.
Yeah, yeah. And yet they were claiming Trump would be.
Right.
He didn't destroy democracy. He destroyed the Democrats.
Yeah.
And Kamala was also steadfastly wanted to take our guns away.
Yes.
And
Go in
know,
your homes. You're locked home.
yeah. And
Oh, but she has one. She has one too, you know.
oh, a Glock, I think.
That's what she was told. If you had told her it's a block, she would have called it a
Right, a
block.
block,
I
yeah, block,
guarantee
Yeah, I got a block.
But think about that, because it all snowballs, Larry.
you. I know.
The next 4 years would be taking people's guns away. I know some people personally. I think you do. I think we both do know some people who are not going to let you take their guns away if it means going down in a hail of bullets. And then you're getting closer and closer to civil war.
And then you got George Soros buying up all those radio stations and now buying BuzzFeed, and they're gonna start trying to they're gonna re-emphasize liberal content moving forward over the next 4 years, thinking they can turn it around in 4 years. And by the grace of God, that will not happen. We will be J.D. Vance will probably follow Trump or someone else, and we will hold things together.
And I get what they're trying to do with BuzzFeed and reignite the energy on the left, but don't you think our eyes are too open for that right now?
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
For this, at least for in this moment and the next 4 years or so, I think America's saying, "Wait a minute, we fell for that one time."
Minority groups are calling it out all the time, saying we're not going to go down that again. We are not going to let you lead us around by the nose and treat us like stepchildren.
People at Project 21 right in the front of the line of that.
Right.
I mean, we've had countless members of Project 21 on this show, and I think they did a good job, and I think they're one of the big reasons why Donald Trump won a lot of the black vote.
I had a guest on yesterday with the America Principle Project, and I said, I know there's no sacred cows on my program. And there was a pause at his end. He didn't know what was coming. I said, I'm going to read back a statement that you put out there, and I want a response from you. And it was, we want to see everybody have a most merry and happy Christmas holiday and enjoy life and love. And I paused, and I said, are you going to apologize for that? I mean, you put that in my face. He said, no.
You caught him. You got him.
Larry Connors, USA, tonight, 6 to 8 o'clock.
Love you guys.
You want to give us a little hint on what we're going to hear on the commentaries?
Yeah. This one commentary today is running with Trump Magazine, Time Magazine naming Trump, and where you're going to have to find them because they're going to be a big sellout. Already are.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Larry Connors,
Thanks,
have a
guys.
great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless.
Great Larry Connors. Holy cow. Okay, Jay Ashcroft is next. Ken, and you know what, Larry? Stick around for a quick second. Remember how we were conspiracy theorists when we said there was FBI agents in the crowd in January?
Yeah.
We were crazy nutballs, weren't we?
Yeah.
Now admitted 26 of them. Where's Ray Epps?
Where is Ray Epps?
Yeah.
And Christopher Ray squirming when he got asked that. Right?
Hopefully, Cash will help us find out.
Oh, man, I can't wait for Cash to get in there. Okay, so the secretary is next on 101.9 94.1 Newstalk STL. Welcome home.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show.
She knows so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured.
English, mother, do you speak it?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Hey, it's a fancy Friday on the Allman Report. Tim Jones and the great Doug Giles. The Allman Report on News Talk STL.
Jamie Allman. Weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL.
Hey, Tony Colombo here with Tim Jones for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway, the #1 home selling team in the St. Louis area. And I can say that from firsthand experience. My wife and I were blown away from the results that we saw from working with Rodney and Jen, from selling our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible to finding our family's perfect new home. They over-delivered every step of the way. And right now, it's still very much a seller's market. So, Tim, for folks that have been thinking about selling their home, it's a perfect time to call the Wallners.
That's right, Tony. And don't forget, they're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois. So no matter where you are in the metro area, you can put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. The Wallners' experience and work ethic, second to none. And of course, the numbers speak for themselves. The Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. Right now, they're working with so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Epic STL is always on the lookout for highly motivated, goal-oriented, results-driven people to add to our growing, winning team of sales and content professionals. 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL is a locally owned and operated venture of Epic STL. Apply to be a part of our creative, fun, and rewarding work environment by simply going to the Connect tab on NewstalkSTL.com and click on Application. Epic STL and News Talk STL are equal opportunity employers.
It's that holiday time of year. Give the gift of hearing to you or a loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today. Audien Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audienhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com. Hurry, don't miss Audien Hearing's Christmas sale live now through December 15th.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved.
I'm just living sky high right now. So I'm very thankful for it. And the team at DebtBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
Mr. Connor's Neighborhood, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to the Missouri Broadcasters Association Air Talent of the Year. This is the Vic Porcelli Show.
Again, I'm never going to be getting into when and where we have or have not used confidential human sources. But
are you willing to stand the record that you had no confidential human sources that went into Capitol on January 6th?
As I've said consistently, I'm not going to get into where we have or have not used confidential human sources.
Confidential human sources. Undercover agents is another way to say that. By the way, the woman questioning him right there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? I think her name is Spark. She's Ukrainian.
Yeah.
She's hard to understand, but she's like a pit bull, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I love her. Absolutely love her. So, January 6th, we said, as crazy conspiracy theorists that we are, that there might have been some, what was the word you used? Human
assets
in the crowd. We just flat out said there were feds, there were FBI agents in the crowd. That's what we said.
Well, the crowd itself was saying feds.
Yeah.
They were yelling it.
Right. And some of them entered the Capitol.
Some say that they were the ones who actually were pulling people through the windows
and moving the barriers.
Yes.
So the entire thing was instigated for Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff and Japile there. What's her name?
Yeah.
Pramila Japile. And she gave up.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
That one.
So she stopped saying insurrection and then moved on to erection, which is fine. So where do we go with this story? Who is ultimately accountable for this story? I think now Christopher Wright resigned yesterday.
Yeah. And I asked you off the air, well, give me your honest opinion, Vic. Why? And is it just because he does not want Donald Trump to fire him? Or what is it? Is it something else?
I think it's something else. I really do. I think, this news came out yesterday that January 6th did have FBI human assets, whatever he calls them, undercover agents in the crowd. And now he's saying, that's what he said then, that they didn't. And now we know that he did. I don't think he wants to deal with this anymore because press conferences and getting called before another congressional committee will happen.
Because he has to answer it now. Before it was, well, I don't want to talk about an ongoing investigation. Well, now he has to answer it because those facts are out right now. And, one thing that I think is going to be the biggest problem for the J6 committee and the left is all the evidence that they're going to reveal about it that they didn't expose. Right. Like, for example, I saw a video of the crowd, the actual crowd outside being mellow. They were just talking, they were chanting and stuff like that. They were boisterous, but they weren't doing anything wrong. So what did the police do? They started putting flash bangs in there and smoke bombs, rubber bullets, and that incited the insurrection, they called it.
Right.
But that wasn't them. That was them saying, hey, what are you doing to us?
Mm-hmm.
We're crammed in here and then you're shooting at us.
On another note, this has nothing to do with it except the phrase flashbang. What a stupid name, Well, what are these things? What do they do? Well, they flash and then they bang. Great. Let's call them flashbangs. Right? No more intellectual word. It's like blinker in your car.
Yeah.
Nobody says directional.
Well, what does it do? It blinks.
It does blink. You're
It's
right.
a blinker.
What do? They flash and then they bang. Well, call them flashbangs. So who goes down for this? He's got to. I'm going to make a guess, not a prediction, but a guess that he'll be brought into another congressional committee and somebody like Representative Spark there from the Ukraine or Jim Jordan or any of them to sit there and say, just like Joe Pesci and my cousin Vinny, are you sure about that 5 minutes? Are you sure about that 5 minutes?
Right.
Except in the context of January 6th.
Well, he can be called in there regardless of whether he resigned or not. I mean, they could subpoena him. Yeah.
I think he still needs to be pulled in. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. I mean, look what they did. Look what they did and how long they drew this out. Bruce, or what I call you, Bruce for? They actually produced this and made it like a TV show and put it on mainstream media television. Remember that, Vic?
Yeah.
Because they just thought, oh, well, we're going to put this thing out there and make it look so slick that the American people are just going to throw Trump in jail. And it just didn't happen that way.
Boy, you're absolutely right. And I think that, first of all, the J6ers need to get out of prison and Donald Trump
immediately
will take care of that. I think that Nancy Pelosi needs to own up to the fact that she screwed this up.
Huge. I think that's the most important point right there.
And I think that this whole narrative needs to be changed because anytime there's an argument or a debate or congressional hearings, you will hear a Democrat say, well, he incited an insurrection, and there's got to come a time where they're not allowed to say that anymore because that's incorrect.
And I want history to reflect this. I don't want history to say, well, Donald Trump, he was in a lot of trouble, but he became president again. I mean, come on. They need to say, yes, there was a question about the left called it a J6 insurrection, but it turns out by the evidence and by the investigations that happened later that it was revealed it was not an insurrection, in fact.
I want to talk about the J6 committee for a sec, okay?
Adam Kinzinger?
Well, yeah, all of them. Cheney, Thompson, Benny Thompson, the guy who was the chairman of that committee. They never had, Donald Trump's side of this never had a chance to testify or say anything in his behalf. Remember that crazy woman with the white dress on that said that Trump grabbed the wheel?
Oh, yeah, of the beast.
Really?
Yeah.
And we didn't have anybody on our side to say, are you sure about that 5 minutes? You know what I mean?
Well, it eventually got out from Secret Service agents saying, wait a minute here a second. There's no possible way, humanly possible, that he could have reached the steering wheel from where he sits.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened.
Also, and the most glaring thing that they overlooked during the entire J6 committee hearings was that they never showed President Trump saying peacefully and patriotically. They never, ever saw that, heard that during the hearings by the J6 committee. We talk all the time too how they show Josh Hawley running out of the building, and the crowd gasped in the committee. Look at that little coward running away.
You're right.
When he was the last one to run out, because there was a group of senators and congressmen who ran out before him.
Yeah, they were all gone. He was just following up.
Right.
Yeah. And they made that was actually a big deal for them. Look at that weakling.
Right. What a scaredy cat.
What a scaredy cat.
What a fraidy cat.
You got listener Tom on the air.
Tom, good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Merry Christmas.
You too.
Merry Christmas, Tom.
Just a quick note. I was there on January the 6th. I actually went up on a bus. I was thinking about flying, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I would have been off. They'd have been at my front door. Okay?
Yeah, on the list. Yeah.
But I mean, I was close enough to hear over the loudspeakers what Trump said, and he said, let's march peacefully and patriotically or whatever. I mean, he didn't ever say let's go bust the doors down, but break out windows and everything. Now, one other thing, and I'm kind of cautious about saying this. I have a relative that actually is in the Secret Service, and I got a text message from this individual that told me they knew that I was going to be there, and they told me, do not go near the Capitol.
So how close to the Capitol were you?
I could actually, I could see the people climbing the walls and on the side and stuff. So I mean, I wasn't close enough that I was going to get in any trouble, but I mean, I could see some stuff. Okay.
Hey Tom, what's your name, address, and phone number? I'm kidding.
Can you just give us your credit card information? No. Okay. So Tom, were you near at all? Just crazy shot in the dark. Were you near Ray Epps at all?
That guy with the funny horn thing?
No. The guy who was telling everybody we got to go into the Capitol. We're going into the Capitol. No, I guess not. You would have known it right away.
Yeah, you would have known.
Well, there were some people that were yelling that, as they were walking down the street. I mean, it was just a weird situation, guys. And I stayed very close to the group I came with. And I myself just didn't make any comments to anybody or anything, because I just didn't want to stir up nothing. Okay.
I hear you. Good thing you didn't fly too. Tom, thanks so much. Merry Christmas to you. Thanks
Merry
for calling.
Christmas, Tom.
You too, guys. Appreciate your show. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.
So a lot needs to be done, Ken. I mean, a lot needs to be done, and people, and I trust a lot of the, MAGA Congress people and senators to finally clear the air on this, because the air needs to be cleared.
I firmly believe, Vic, to the bottom of my heart, that had the FBI in the people who were installed in the crowd and all the bullets and flashbangs and all that stuff, had none of that happened, all the people that were out there would not be trying to bust down the windows. They would have walked around like they did because I believe they were there to protest, but peacefully.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I think they started it. There were people who were breaking those windows that I believe were FBI agents.
I do too.
Instigating this.
And the people who did go into the Capitol, the QAnon shaman, the kid with the buffalo hat on, and
yeah,
he was walking down the hallway, and there was like a little table, little coffee table or something that was knocked over, and he picked it up and he put it back the way
Right.
it was. So how dangerous an insurrection was he?
And his name was Chandler, I believe, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
I think it was.
Unfortunately, I only know Mr. QAnon shaman.
But what it turns out to be with him, he was just like some normal guy dressed up with horns. That's who he was.
Yeah.
He was not some weirdo that they were trying to make him out to be.
So Christopher Wray, I'm sorry, he doesn't get to testify in front of committees and say, I can't comment on an ongoing investigation. How many times did he use that line, that I can't comment on an ongoing investigation, right?
Every time it was information that we needed.
And then when the president had President Trump had an assassination attempt on his life, he was ready with all kinds of information then.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? You can't talk about an ongoing investigation. And that one day when he said, with all respect to the president, I'm not sure he was actually hit with the bullet. It might have been shrapnel from something. How dare he say that? How dare he thinks we're that stupid to believe that Donald Trump was not hit in the ear with a bullet?
Well, first of all, as a gun owner, I immediately thought to myself, okay, if there's shrapnel, it had to hit something. Right. What did it hit?
Didn't hit the teleprompters. They were intact.
What metal could it have possibly have hit to create shrapnel?
Right.
Because it would have had to have been metal, most likely.
Or glass. The teleprompters
could have been glass. Yeah. But they weren't hit.
Nope, they weren't. And I'm just flabbergasted that everybody forgot that somebody shot President Trump. I'm flabbergasted. It never comes up on either side.
No, especially in the mainstream media. If you're listening to the or
like
watching
it
television,
never happened.
Like it never happened. We're talking like less than a week after it happened. And then the other one at the golf course, because the guy did not actually pull the trigger, that went away in a day.
Did we talk
that was
about
gone?
Did you and I talk about that a Secret Service agent shot at that guy, Ryan Routh, 6 times from like 10 feet away and missed?
Accidentally.
Every time.
But he was that bad. He was that bad of a shot as a Secret Service agent or whatever.
You bring up a good point there, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, that he missed on purpose.
Well, come on, Vic. I mean, I practice, but I'm no Secret Service agent. I don't practice with the money they have.
And what about the Secret Service? What's going on? Who's going to be the director of the Secret Service? How are we, as Americans, ready to feel confident that nobody is going to shoot President Trump again?
They've got to protect this man. He is the most important
at
person
all.
on this earth right now.
I can't wait for January 20th and everything to change. I swear to God, I cannot wait. All right, we're going to talk to Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at RedState.com. She's next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Whoosh.
Hey, Colombo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and JewelsOnHampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Hello, fans of the paranormal. I'm Frankie, host of the newest show on NewstalkSTL on a Garage, and we'll be discussing everything paranormal, from ghosts, demons, hauntings, and aliens to Skinwalker, Bigfoot, fairies, and the Chupacabra. Every Saturday night between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., me and Jeremy will discuss mysterious events in St. Louis and surrounding areas, including gateway families and unsolved true crimes. That's right. It's all right here exclusively on NewstalkSTL from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every Saturday night.
Looking for a top quality tactical gear and expert advice? Look no further than Discount Tactical, your one-stop shop for all things firearms and self-defense. Located in the heart of Warrenton, we've been serving the community for 3 years with our friendly, professional, and knowledgeable staff. From custom AR builds and silencers to the largest selection of parts, we've got you covered. Self-defense weapons, SBRs, knives, ammo, custom holsters, weapon lights, optics, and body armor. Discount Tactical. Online at DiscountTacticalArmory.com or stop by today and gear up with confidence.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. A government watchdog is out with findings about FBI intelligence and the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot.
The report says the FBI should have done more to collect intelligence before the Capitol riot, even though the Bureau did prepare for the possibility of violence on January 6th, 2021. It also says no undercover FBI employees were present that day, and none of the Bureau's informants were cleared to participate. The report from the Justice Department Inspector General's office knocks down a fringe conspiracy theory by some Republicans in Congress that the FBI played a role in instigating the events of January 6th. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
Secretary of State Blinken made an unannounced stop in Iraq today on his latest visit to the Middle East, which is aimed at stabilizing the situation in Syria to prevent further regional turmoil. Blinken met in Baghdad with the Iraqi Prime Minister. Meanwhile, the White House is pointing to hopeful signs in efforts to reach a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release. Here's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
Hamas's posture at the negotiating table did adapt following the announcement of the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon.
Weather conditions in Southern California have improved enough to cancel red flag warnings and lift some of the wildfire evacuation orders. More than 3,700 residents have returned to their Malibu area homes, although some mandatory evacuations remain in place. As of last night, the Franklin fire was about 20 to 30% contained. There are media reports this morning that prosecutors are presenting evidence to a New York grand jury in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO. The suspect is being jailed in Pennsylvania. More at townhall.com.
Hi, everyone. If you or someone you know were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma within the past 20 years, listen up, because you could be entitled to significant cash compensation. For years, the weed killer Roundup was used in homes, farms, and gardens, and now studies have proven a direct link between Roundup and this deadly cancer. So if you or someone you know have been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call us and find out if you qualify for a cash settlement. 800-842-6060. That's 800-842-6060. Time to file a claim is running out, so don't delay. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can find out if you qualify for a monetary award. Call 800-842-6060. That's 800-842-6060. 800-842-6060. Call now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at SerenityLTC.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Rain or
arrives for us tomorrow morning, but we are dry on this Friday. After another chilly start, we'll climb to about 43 this afternoon. Considerable cloud cover across the area. Cloudy tonight with temperatures leveling off around 37 degrees. A thorough soaking on Saturday. Steady rain from the morning into the afternoon, tapering off in the evening and Saturday night. But this is all rain for us. No ice, with a high tomorrow at 48 degrees. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, another hour to go. Final hour of our working week. We've got the Wheel of Audio Clips coming up at 10:41. Full-blown chat box break at 10:25. Yeah. And Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor of RedState.com in a second. Our friend Andre is on the phone. Andre, thank you for serving. How you doing?
Not too bad. I just want to call BS on this whole January 6th report. I served with a guy. He was a staff sergeant at the time when I served with him. This had been 2015 or early 2016. This individual applied for the FBI and was accepted. He is in the pictures of suspected feds on January 6th.
So what are you calling BS on?
That there weren't feds in the crowd.
Okay, yeah. So there's proof right there.
Right there, yeah,
right?
right.
And all the other ones that came out in the report yesterday from the Inspector General. We're not making this stuff up. The Inspector General said it.
Yeah.
All right, Andre, good job, man. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas, Andre.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank you for serving.
Susie Q, baby, I love you. Susie Q.
I'm the boss. How about that?
And I should have listened to Susie more from the beginning. All right.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'm always right. Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor at RedState.com. Good to see you last night, too, at our little shindig.
Good to see you guys.
All right. So this list of pardons and clemency yesterday from Biden, the biggest in modern history. They always say modern history because I don't think it goes back that far. Actually, it probably was in history. But what are your thoughts on, the pardons and clemency that he let loose yesterday?
Well, it was certainly a large batch of them, and I haven't had a chance to really review too many of the specific ones. I know there were a couple that raised eyebrows, including a judge I think he was out of Pennsylvania, that had been involved in the scheme where he was basically sending kids that were in trouble to this sort of prison system that he was getting a kickback from. And then some other lady that had a huge embezzlement amount. And then there were several that were actually done 3 or 4 weeks ago, including 3 Chinese nationals, but that was part of a prisoner swap. They just didn't, they weren't disclosed at the time, and now we know their names.
So what about his brother? What about the whole Biden crime family?
Well, he's got 38 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think we'll see pardons for people that we know the names of before he leaves.
And any guess on any of those names?
Well, I think Jim Biden and possibly Frank Biden would be among them. I know that there are people talking about, this concept of preemptive pardons for people like Tony Fauci and Liz Cheney and that sort of thing. But I disagree with the term preemptive pardon because I think it's meaningless. A pardon is a pardon. It's not, it's not prospective. It can only cover things in the past. So,
and if you need a pardon, you did something wrong.
Well, or you think you're going to be credibly accused of having done something wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Susie, Donald Trump was accused of a lot of things he did not do, and so he fought them, and he basically he's winning, and because he's innocent. Okay, now here's my problem with this whole pardon thing. They keep saying every time Joe does a pardon like that with his family members or what have you, he's saying, well, just in case, because I know they're going to be targeted. Oh, you really know this because it's what you did? And is that the real reason? Because, or are they guilty? What is it? You know what I'm saying? That is the problem that I'm having with this whole thing.
Well, I share your frustration over it. I mean, the one of the biggest issues we've seen over the past 4 years, particularly, is the level of projection coming out of this administration. And back to everything they're accusing the Republicans of, they're doing. So
anything they say, I know, is complete opposite.
Well, that's true tue. So there's the lying aspect, the gaslighting aspect, and the projection aspect of it. So I think it could be a combination. They're attributing to Trump and the incoming Trump administration their own evil motives, but then they're also recognizing that they probably did some shady stuff that they could get in trouble for if it's brought out into the light.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens there. So Carrie Lake may have a role in the Trump administration. What might that role be?
Yes, she's going to be the director of Voice of America, which is the international broadcast system that the U.S. kind of uses to broadcast to the rest of the world.
Well, I think she needs to talk to us then, doesn't she?
That's a big role. Yeah.
That's what we do here.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
It's the international stuff. So I don't know if it's going to be as focused on domestic.
Hey, we're an international show here. What exactly are you saying?
we just talked to Captain Cohen from Israel.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I'm just saying the broadcast is not domestic. The broadcast is international.
Okay,
I got you. I got you.
We don't need Carrie Lake on the show. Fine. So what are you talk to people that you work with, the great writers at Red State. What are they saying just over coffee about preemptive pardons and the ridiculous things that the left says that just aren't true about President Trump? And what are you guys talking about?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff that you guys talk about. I mean, I think we all kind of fall into that, center-right group of people that have seen a lot of the wreckage caused by Joe Biden and his administration and are fed up with it and are anxious to see the new administration come in. But I mean, there's nothing. I would say our insights and views of things. First of all, you can find them on the pages of Red State, but also they largely overlap with a lot of what you guys sense and express on your show.
Yeah. All right. So what about the Secret Service? It's like the glaring agency that hasn't been mentioned yet as far as who's going to run the Secret Service.
Yeah, there hasn't been an announcement about that, and I know certainly there's been some speculation that could it be Dan Bongino, and I'm sure he would do a phenomenal job at the role, but I also understand why that might not be particularly appealing to him, because I suspect it would be a humongous pay cut, and a lot of hassle. So yeah, we haven't seen that announced, although there have been kind of rapid fire series of announcements. Don't be surprised if there's not a handful more today or this afternoon from the Trump-Vance transition team, because he's been, getting the ball rolling and getting his administration staff well ahead of the game. Obviously, some of those are subject to the Senate's approval, but a lot of them are not. Aside from Dan Bongino, I don't know who I would suggest would be appropriate for that role. I'm sure there are people who are, and the key is going to be somebody who not only knows that agency, but also has a clear-eyed, view of what its mission needs to be, kind of along the lines of Pete Hegseth with the defense secretary position. So it's got to be somebody who's willing to come in and shake things up, because it's not working right. What's going on there now is a travesty. I mean, there are people that have died because of it. We almost lost President Trump because of it, and there are going to be more people hurt if there isn't some significant change implemented, and it's not going to happen under Ronald Roe.
Absolutely not. And I just don't. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, in my head, I'm like, does he really want Bongino to do this? And Bongino's like, hey, I'd love to, but I don't want to take the pay cut. I mean, I get it. So it's got to be somebody as experienced as Dan Bongino, and the left would have nothing to say about Dan Bongino's credibility to be the Secret Service director, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they would even. I don't know if they would even dare.
Yeah.
No, they'd quibble with his ideological underpinnings, but they're going to feel that way about anybody that Trump nominates. I think it's the same issue that we see with the FBI. The people that move up through the ranks and into like the management positions, often they are people who are more focused. And not always. I mean, good people move up too, but there are too often a focus on, burnishing your resume and moving on up, and not as much on the actual critical mission of the agency.
Yeah.
And so then you end up, and it's the same in the military. You end up with a lot of people at the top overseeing things that aren't actually invested in the core mission. Same thing with education. You get all those administrators and they're not focused on what the actual core mission is, which is educating students appropriately. So
that's a great point there.
Yeah.
And we've said many times on the show, the NEA president, Randy Weingarten, when she does these speeches that are real loud and everything, and collective bargaining and our teacher, she never mentions the kids ever.
No.
And the amount of
Something wrong
people
with
that
that.
are in the federal agency, it's amazing. Like 7,000 people federally, and you're talking about administrators right there. How much money we could save just by eliminating those.
Right, which is why hopefully DOJ will be successful in its efforts.
I agree. All right, let's move on to Luigi. So then, now we find that United Healthcare wasn't even his insurance company. So he was just looking for a rich guy to shoot. Is that what the problem is?
Well, we don't know for sure, but it seems that way. It seems that he had his motive was finding one of these healthcare CEOs, and maybe he just had access to or the ability to figure out where one of them was going to be easier than the others. I don't know. I mean, there were some issues that had Brian Thompson and UHC and kind of in the news because of some of the stock trades and stuff that they did, and there was a lawsuit going on. Maybe he'd been following that, so he's zeroed in on Brian Thompson. Don't know, but he can't say that he personally was somehow injured by United Healthcare.
Right.
Not that would justify it anyway, but.
And I understand what you're saying, how people were thinking, but if this guy was going to be in trouble, because Brian Thompson was under DOJ investigation. Excuse me, hold on.
Bless you.
Sorry, I sneezed.
Bless you.
Thank you so much. So if he's under investigation by the DOJ, possible insider trading, then wouldn't you want him to be alive and be punished for what he did?
If you're thinking rationally, yes.
Sorry.
If you're somebody who thinks that violence is the answer, then you're not thinking rationally.
Right. Yeah. Fourth dimensionally, I get it. I'm like Marty McFly. All right, let's talk about drones. God, this is the most ridiculous story I think I've ever heard. There's these drones that they're saying are as big as SUVs flying around, higher than helicopters. So the helicopters have to look up to try to see what they're doing. And they're all over New Jersey. They're over Trump's Bedminster Club, the Picatinny Arsenal, which is right there. And the government has no idea.
Well, the government is saying it has no idea, but I think we can safely conclude that's hogwash. Yeah, I mean, there's a combination of things going on that are really mucking this up and making it difficult to wrap your brain around. Number one, there are people who are kind of glomming onto this and they're sharing all these, wild videos and images, and some of those aren't legit, and those are people that are just engagement farming and trying to get the clicks. There are people who are legitimately sharing what they're seeing and concerned. There are law enforcement and public officials who are trying to get to the bottom of this, and then there are the ones who are stonewalling. And you've got officials like Jeff Van Drew, who my instinct is that he got way out over his skis with his assertion that this was Iran and a mothership out in the Atlantic. I have some quibbles with the way he did that and the accuracy of it. But you got him making those accusations. You got the Pentagon and the White House saying, nope, it's not that. We don't really know what it is, but no one's in danger, which obviously doesn't wash either. You can't say that you're not in danger if you don't know what they are.
Well, Susie, we played actually some audio from that clip you're talking about with that representative saying that there was a mothership out on the East Coast, and we played that because it is a representative, and I believe anything and nothing from this government. I mean, I'm saying they're throwing stuff out so many different ways. For example, you've got this guy who's saying, yes, there was. In fact, I know higher up people. I know very involved people who are saying there was, and there's proof of it. I'm not going to give names right now, but there's proof of it. And then you've got the other part of the government saying, oh, no, we have no idea what's going on. Okay, come on. Now, that creates a vacuum, And then that's where the conspiracy theorists come in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we still we're not any closer to knowing answers. And you've got, for instance, okay, so recently elected New Jersey Senator Andy Kim. He, and I retweeted this, he went out last night with law enforcement officials and made a specific point to be in the areas where they've been seeing. And he described a number of objects that he saw, and they were using Flight Tracker to differentiate between actual legitimate aircraft and what the other items that he was seeing. And he describes it in a long thread on Twitter. Well, this is a U.S. Senator now. He seems to be a straight shooter. He's not saying he knows what they are, but he's saying, I'm seeing them. And then you've got some people who are saying, no one's seeing anything. It's all airplanes. And it's like, no, that's not true either.
That's not true.
So
yeah.
No one seems to know. No one seems to know. And no one who does know is willing to come forward with the answer. And it's just ridiculous.
Now, I just real quick, Vic, I'm sorry, but I just want to say this because I saw a video of someone saying that this was a drone that they were videotaping. And it you know what? I can tell a lot of fake, video from real. This guy and the way he and his girlfriend were talking, it just seemed like it was real to me. And it did not look like your typical drone at all.
Right. I think there's a mixture. I mean, there's definitely some bogus stuff out there. And then that ends up muddying the waters for people who are legitimately trying to share good information. And some of that is, I guess, motivated by people just wanting to get their social media clout. So that's frustrating too. But the people who are saying there's no drones are wrong, and the people who are saying they're everywhere may not be accurate. But we're not getting the information from the people who should know and should have an answer. And for them to just shrug and say, "Well, we don't really have an answer," that's not acceptable.
Two quick things about Jeff Van Drew. One, he represents New Jersey, so he's got a vested interest in this, right?
Absolutely.
And second of all, he is a guy who was a Democrat and changed to Republican.
That's right.
So I just wanted to throw those out there.
Right. He absolutely did.
And this whole thing is almost like they're comparing it to War of the Worlds, right? The Orson Welles radio broadcast, which also is in New Jersey. Grover's Mill, the Martians landing.
What's going on with your home state?
I don't know. Maybe they should make a phone call. Uncle Rocco, take care of this in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, Army-Navy game is tomorrow. Do we expect President Trump to be there?
Oh, yes, he will be there. A lot of heavy hitters will be there, not just on the field. He will be there. Ron DeSantis is going to be there. Mike Johnson is going to be there. J.D. Vance is going to be there. And his special guest is going to be Daniel Penny.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
God.
There we go.
All right. So now, Scotty, our Navy chief.
Yeah, the chief.
So we got to root for Navy?
The Vic Head chief.
So we root for Navy.
I'm gonna vote for both. I have no idea.
Do we have any emotional connection to somebody in the Army?
I have two Navy people in my family.
There we go. It's more Navy.
So more Navy. Yeah.
Why are we rooting for Navy?
Okay, let's root for Navy.
Okay.
All right, we have to.
There you go.
Sorry, guys. Are you sorry, Army people?
Susie, you good with that? You good with going on the Navy bandwagon?
Well, my dad was in the Army, so I don't know.
See now. You're muddying up the waters.
You got to go with that, though, right. Susie. I get it.
Susie, it was great to see you last night.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for everything you do for us, and we will chat next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Susie Moore, Deputy Managing Editor, RedState.com. All right, the Wheel of Audio Clips coming up at 10:41. Full-blown chat box next, okay?
Wow, Vic.
On 1019. Listening to Jeff Beck. 94.1 News Talk STL.
You radio DJ.
Welcome home. It's Jeff Beck for you on a Friday morning.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
Whoosh.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli
As
Show.
President Lincoln said,
what, do you have a cough due to cold?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Is that what Lincoln said? You have cough due to cold?
That's exactly what he said. I heard it. It's documented, I think.
No idea. So last night we had a little hootenanny here at the station. We had all of our sponsors and advertisers here. Everybody was in a great mood. Everybody was having fun. And the Connors, Rob and Kathy Connor, came by too. And I was talking to them for a while last night. And, Kathy and Rob Connor, when you meet them, you get it. As soon as you meet them, you get it. First of all, you get that they're going to do a great job for you on your roof. And second of all, they're going to call you. Kathy herself will call you and say, hey, how'd we do? Tell me the truth. Don't softball me. Tell me how we did. And I don't think a whole lot of companies do that. But Kathy does that. So what am I talking about? Your roof, right? They've been doing roofing since 1993. And when they started, this is the way they were going to do it, right? Customer service. Because if you can't make your current customer happy, who are you going to make happy, right? And if you have a snowstorm, heavy snow damages your roof, you get in touch with Connor before you even call the insurance company, and they'll help you navigate the web of insurance, okay? So an honest estimate, quality work, great follow-up, and customer service after the sale. And you know what? Just two really great people, Rob and Kathy Connor. Connor Roofing. Get them at ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com.
Larry Connor's here with a perfect Christmas gift for the conservative in your life. Let's go to southern Italy on a tour of the most beautiful coastline in the world, the Amalfi Coast. Join me for 11 magical days with professionals from Conservative Tours, $54.88. That includes airfare from St. Louis. Call toll-free 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. Let's go to Italy this spring.
Hi, Ken Williams here. Looking to transform your outdoor space? Call Don the Nightlight Guy. Since 1989, Outdoor Decor has been illuminating St. Louis homes from landscapes to decks, patios to architectural features. Don does it all. Incandescent to LED, water features, path lighting. Don's got you covered. Mention Newstalk STL and get a whopping $250 off any order over $3,000. Don Telgi, the Nightlight Guy at 636-697-2311. 636-697-2311.
SR1 Sundays.
Hey, this is Aaron Dorff from the Missouri Firearms Coalition. Don't miss our new show, Shall Not Be Infringed, this coming and every Sunday as part of SR1 Sundays. Tune in for Stand and Fight with Nick Schroer at 6, Next Gen with Dane Define at 8, and my show, Shall Not Be Infringed at 9. See you then.
SR1 Sundays.
Sunday night at 6 on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Subscribe and watch your favorite News Talk STL shows.
Mike Ferguson in the morning, the Vic Porcelli Show, Colombo and Company, Jones and Arps.
Webcam streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble.
Subscribe and watch
News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Vic. Yo, Vic.
On News Talk STL.
I'm right here. Hey, baby, I want to stuff your stocking. News Talk STL wants to fill your stockings with great gifts this Christmas with our stocking stuffer giveaway. We're giving away $1,000 worth of stuff, great gifts, and all you have to do to get a chance to win is to go to newstalkstl.com and register to win. It's just that easy. You could win great News Talk STL merchandise, by the way, a 1-year range membership from Metro Shooting Supplies in Bridgeton and Belleville. A lot of good stuff. Don't miss out on your chance. Go to News Talk STL and get more info and register today for our stocking stuffer giveaway. All right, full-blown chat box break. Ken, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No for elections.
No peace.
No for elections.
No peace.
They're still being investigated voting fraud.
No peace.
Okay. Good morning, all you MAGA, ultra-patriotic, deplorable, garbagian, freedom-fighting, God-fearing, dickhead weirdos. Whoosh. Give me a whoosh.
Get a little whoosh going.
Give me a whoosh.
Whoosh.
Any chance we can have a weekly segment on Illinois politics and issues?
Yeah,
we should do that.
We should do a focus. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. How about this? I'll commit to this. I'll get a hold of my person. We'll talk about the Illinois Policy Institute and get them on.
Because J.B. Pritzker signed more laws.
He's going nuts over there. He's going nuts over there.
Minimum wage will be $15 next year. I mean, it's just terrible.
And we get a lot of listeners over there. So I'll commit to that. We'll get them. We can go next week.
And shame on us for not doing it already.
Sorry about that.
We had a working governor, and the rhinos let the Democrats demolish him. I guess that's Parson we're talking about?
Yeah, pretty much.
I just wish he was a little more vocal. I wish he was a little more visible. That's all. I want to know what the governor's name is without having to think about it.
I totally get what you're saying because I felt like shame on me because I forgot his name. I actually forgot his name.
Parson?
Parson,
Yes,
yeah.
I agree. Completely agree. And Ed says, I asked because I think you have a lot of Illinois listeners. I appreciate that.
We do.
Ready on the right. Lock and load. Ready on the right. That clearly came in during the Larry Connors segment. Democrats allowed Obama to divide us. Now, race. Democrats allowed their own party to be corrupted. I think it's one word missing in there. We paid close to, we paid $6,000 per month for my dad's assisted living. So,
wow.
And I know it could be more than that. It could be more. I said 5 because that's what I put into Google. I said, what's the average price for assisted living? It came back $5,800, something like that. And Luigi's father makes millions and millions of dollars off of old people in assisted living facilities.
Right.
So was he just looking for somebody rich to shoot? Was that his problem?
And like you were saying yesterday, well, why didn't you just turn on his dad?
Right, exactly. And you know what I thought of? Which is crazy. I don't know if I said this on the air or not. Instead of shooting him, why didn't he just kidnap him, right? Tie him to a chair and use technology and put it in the Times Square, big board in Times Square. Look, this is the guy who charges too much money or won't cover. Instead of killing him.
That would have been so much more effective, Vic.
Can't run the world. In 2017, we paid $10,000 a month for assisted living.
Holy
in St.
cow.
Louis.
Wow.
There's
just no excuse for that.
Yeah. $5,000 a month is not bad, actually. And I'm not saying that Luigi's father charges $5,000 a month. I'm just saying that's what I put into Google, and that's what came up.
But it's in Boston, so
it could be 10,000, could be more. My God. Is anyone paying attention that another January 6th is coming up to certify this election? What's in store from the left on this? Don't really think they'll just let it pass. Jamie Raskin said they won't let it pass. Jamie Raskin said they won't certify this election just because it's Donald Trump.
Well, that's not going to happen. I feel pretty comfortable with saying that, yeah, if Jamie Raskin, that lunatic, that freak, if he decides to try and pull something like that, he'll be set aside. There's no way he's going to let that happen.
Confidential human sources. That's hilarious. The left is always changing the narrative, just like climate change. It used to be global warming.
Exactly.
Ray likely resigned for several reasons. One may be if he got fired, loses the pension. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right about that.
I'm sorry. What was that? I heard Steve Baker say that if FBI in plain clothes were there, they aren't considered undercover and would have to report that they were there. I don't know how the FBI works. You might have to take out Walking on Sunshine from Smoozy Q's intro and use it for the new press secretary segment.
No, why?
We'll find good music.
Well, we've already got okay, I don't want to give away too much, but we've got a segment we're creating for Caroline Levitt, and we have the music already.
Happy music, good music.
Happy, great music that you can sing along to.
I think Walking on Sunshine belongs to Susie Moore, and that's it.
That's all we can do.
Looking more and more like this guy was taken out by a disgruntled man who may have been used by others. I think maybe he's saying that he was a patsy for something. I don't know. Keep in mind, Brian Thompson was being investigated by the DOJ.
Yeah.
And insider trading was part of that. And we know the world's greatest insider trader is Nancy Pelosi.
She's a savant in Wall Street.
What if he was going to out Nancy Pelosi or other big names on insider trading?
We don't know.
And maybe that's why he shot him.
That's another great possibility,
Who knows? Over to Facebook, Amy says, good morning, Vic Heads. It's Friday. Got a Friday for Amy or Vic Head? Nope. Sorry, Amy. It's Ken's fault.
No, I have one. I just had to, I'm working on something here. And
I know. Good morning, Freedom Fighting Vic
It's
Head.
Friday.
Good morning, Freedom Fighting Vic Heads. I wonder if Kash Patel will let us know who was that cocaine, who left that cocaine in the White House.
Right.
I would love to find out who that is, because now it might not be Hunter's at all. It might be Kamala's. Who knows?
It might be Ashley's.
Not accusing anybody.
Did you see Ashley on the? Okay, I'm just saying. In the moment, they were on that balcony, and Hunter kept And he was wiping his head.
Yeah.
And he's like sweating
Yeah.
himself to death. But Ashley, she was acting very freaky that night. She was pointing with both fingers like at everybody going, see this? Look at this. We're, So who knows whose it was?
What do you think Tim Waltz is on?
Yeah, really.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Hello, Vic Heads. Spelled Vic wrong there, Susie, but I'll let it go because we love you. Scooter says an FBI asset is an informant, not agents. All due respect to Bruce. Who's Bruce?
I don't know.
These are people.
Oh, I called you Bruce earlier.
Oh.
good one, Scooter.
Oh, you Bruce?
Hey, Bruce.
So these are people who provide information to agents, sometimes for money, sometimes in exchange for more lenient treatment in another crime. Great show. Have a warm weekend. Thanks, Scooter. I don't really know how the FBI thing works. Jane Pushkar is coming in Monday. She says, looking forward to seeing you guys on Monday. And Francis Howell.
And yeah, hopefully we get that mess straightened out.
This bathroom thing is why we had Jane on last time. And
it's probably going to be the reason why we have her on this time, to get the updates.
Scocepius was talking about Caroline Sunshine. That's her name. He worked with the Trump campaign. Her name was Caroline Sunshine.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
her
crazy.
name is Sunshine.
Oh, okay.
She still doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Susie's music. Okay. I think that's everything in the chat box. Thanks so much, guys. We really appreciate everything you do. Being there for us, listening to us, calling in, writing in, sending us emails and stuff. We can't thank you enough. What else can I say?
No, we really appreciate it. I mean, well, that's one of the things that motivates us, knowing that we can get that input. If you'll notice, we do take calls, but we just don't do it as much as other shows might, because we just love the whole stream thing and getting the information firsthand at that moment.
Strocepius says Tim Waltz freebases estrogen.
See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about, right?
The best. They're the best. They are the best. We could not do the show without you guys. Absolutely love you. So thanks. And we're coming up on the end of the year, and we just want to thank you for another great year. I mean, July 19th, I think it was 2021 when we started this year.
Yes.
And we're really making inroads, and we've got some great advertisers and great people that help us. So thank you so much. All right, let's get out of here. So we have lots of time for the Wheel of Audio Clips. That's next on 1019 and 94.1, number one for live and local conservative talk, News Talk STL.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Cisco Systems and Cyber Bastion, the Ashcroft-owned small business.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. Colombo and Company.
On Friday, we'll recap a busy week and give you the latest news heading into the weekend with Gabe Pfeiffer, Ken Williams, and the weekend forecast from Steve Templeton at 2:45.
Live and local weekdays at 2
on News Talk STL.
Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros, your all-in-one gutter service team that brings years of experience and quality that's affordable right to your doorstep. We discovered Gutter Pros a few years ago when we bought our home and inherited a gutter issue that was on the road to becoming a potentially big problem, but thanks to Gutter Pros was stopped before causing any major damage. They've also repaired the siding on our home because along with gutter repair, gutter installation, and leaf protection, the Gutter Pros are also the best for siding repair and installation. Learn about all the ways Gutter Pros can help your home at gutterpros.com.
Tim Jones here for AMF Electric. AMF Electric's industrial team, noted for its go anywhere, meet any need, and delivered on-time service. In fact, over the last almost 60 years, AMF Electric has never failed to meet a customer's needed completion deadlines. At AMF Electric, they're unabashedly pro-American. They love to work with like-minded individuals and business owners who believe in freedom of economic choice. Call them 314-647-4066. Online, amfelectric.com. That's amfelectric.com.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
All your hard-earned tax dollars and mine are going to fund illegal aliens who come across the border penniless, jobless, skillless, and they're given a cell phone
an identity, and a cash stipend every month.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
It beats your Social Security income if you should have the good nature to work your ass off your whole life and retire.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL. Brought to you in part by Modern Weapon Systems in Fenton.
Let Severs JCB create a custom purchasing plan for your year-end equipment needs and maximize your tax savings. Whether you need 0% financing for up to 60 months, generous cash incentives up to $9,000, or extended warranties for up to 5 years, Severs JCB can tailor a plan to fit your fleet needs and budget. Programs are available on a wide range of products, including track loaders, excavators, wheel loaders, and more. Call, stop by, or check them out online at seversjcb.com.
Need reliable auto service from people you can trust? Look no further than Western Tire and Auto. For over 15 years, we've been your complete automotive repair center, family owned and operated, with owner Dean Kleethermes bringing 30 years of industry experience. At Western Tire and Auto, you're not just a customer, you're family. We promise 100% satisfaction, treating you with the transparency, respect, and honesty you deserve. Visit us in St. Peters or in Florissant. For appointments, call or check westerntireauto.com. Western Tire and Auto, your local automotive experts since 2008.
Fox News commentary.
Google didn't take a hint from Bud Light or the November election. Woke is so out of style. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
This year, American farmers will harvest 2.8 billion bushels of wheat and 15.1 billion bushels of corn. And to this day, American road workers have built 4.2 million miles of roads and counting. We're proud that John Deere machines rolling off the line here in the USA play a part in supporting Americans who work the land and build a better tomorrow. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/manufacturing.
Is getting blasted across social media for a new holiday ad featuring a non-binary influencer. The influencer Cyrus Vaesi can be seen in an ad wearing women's clothing and makeup and using Google to find skincare products. Cyrus has a huge TikTok audience with over 1 million followers and is known to promote beauty products typically used by women. And while I understand it's a free country and folks are able and encouraged to live their lives as they please, pronouns and all, it does seem to be another thumbing of the nose to those who perhaps hold traditional values. It's also yet another example of a major company choosing a biological man masquerading as feminine to be the face of products or services geared towards women. A Google spokesperson is dismissing the controversy by saying the post in question is just one in a series of influencer campaigns. That's all fine and dandy, but Google was asleep on November 5th. We're sick of woke. I'm Tommy Lahren.
The Wheel of Audio Clips, brought to you by Senior Memorial. With the average funeral bill over $9,000, are your loved ones prepared? Call 314-866-8886 or memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
It's Friday!
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Over here, dear.
You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
You sure about that 5 minutes?
Nah.
Are you sure about that 5 minutes? Okay. This show, 9 to 11 every morning. Appreciate you listening. But also, you can get the podcast of the show, right?
Yes.
And you can listen to the show at your leisure, wherever you are. Just download it from wherever you get your podcasts. And, we'd appreciate it.
We really wouldn't. And like a button if you have
Yeah,
to. If
not
you have
to
a
mention,
like
would it kill you? Would it kill you to hit the like button
Just
once
hit
in a
the
while?
like button. Even if even if you hate it, like it.
Yeah.
Hit it.
How about a couple of guys?
Come on now.
All right, let's do the wheel.
All right.
Wheel of Audio Clips!
It's America's favorite game show, The Wheel of Audio Clips. Here's the host of Wheel of Audio Clips, Vic Porcelli.
Hey, thank you, Jim Modulin. Thank you, Ken Williams. Thank you, studio audience. Hey, ladies, how are you? Love you to death. So, the Wheel of Audio Clips. Ken works hard getting all this audio for us to listen to together, all these stories that we can listen to together.
Heck with that, getting that damn wheel out of the closet, man.
Getting the wheel out of the
Huge,
closet is not easy. It's really big.
Cleaning it.
And he takes all the clips that we played all week, puts them on the big wheel. We spin the wheel, and wherever it lands, that's the audio we listen to. And, there are certain things we want to hear, certain things we don't want to hear, but we try to keep it on the up and up, right?
We try.
Okay, all right, spin the wheel. Let's roll. All right. Let's see if we can keep this a conservative wheel of... well, we can wish. Actually, Tim Waltz blaming us for rejecting him.
I think we're going to have to understand what type of leadership do they want. We were pledging to be inclusive. We were pledging to bring people in. Donald Trump has said that isn't what he wants. And so if that's what America's leaning towards, I guess for me, it's to understand and learn more about America, because I thought that they were going to probably move towards a more positive message.
Okay. So Donald Trump ran on that, not you guys. You guys ran on division. MAGA extremists, right? Extreme MAGA Republicans. Donald Trump, I think, is the one who was talking about being the unifier.
Yeah. And I have a question for you about what he meant by this little piece here. I'll show you.
Inclusive. We were pledging to bring people in.
We were pledging to bring people in. What does that mean?
I don't know.
we were pledging to bring people in from the northern and southern border.
Yes, probably.
I'm just saying, Vic. What does that mean?
Right. It means he's a liar. It means he has jazz hands.
He does.
It means he's got a crazy wife who likes to smell tires burning. And that could have been our vice president, who was one heartbeat away from the presidency.
Yes, sir.
I think the vice president is a bigger deal than people make it out to be, because that's the person who, I remember when Hillary Clinton ran against Donald Trump and her running mate was crazy Tim Kaine. Could you imagine?
Oh my God.
Tim Kaine was the president of the United States?
Oh my God.
Holy cow.
And not only that, but look at the inefficiency of Kamala Harris. I mean, she could have been so much better. And JD Vance, he's not even vice president yet, but yet he's on the mountains in North Carolina helping those people. Yeah. I mean, that's what a good vice president, I think, does.
Yep. I think Kamala was full of divisive talk too.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's spin the wheel, get going here. Want to fit everything in, Ken. We always run out of time. And what's with my allergies all of a sudden? Yeah, right. All right, so maybe, look, Donald, for God's sakes. Joe Biden has to have teleprompter problems right to the end of his presidency.
Right.
And one of the things that's going on here, they just turned off my, I'm going to go down. I lost the electricity here. Anyway, one of the things we found is that,
good luck.
We invented the computer chip.
What?
Size of the tip of your little finger.
Size tip of your little finger.
So he's so funny. When the teleprompter went out, having the teleprompter go out on Joe Biden is like telling Hunter there's no more cocaine left.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's panic city. And that was the most ad lib thing he could say was, we lost electricity here. Even though all the lights were on in the room.
Right.
And just the teleprompter went out. He didn't have the sense to say, the teleprompter went out. Because at this point, who cares if it's teleprompter or not? You're leaving.
Not only that, but who cares that the teleprompter went out, period? Because as a user of a teleprompter, I can tell you, I was doing it on television. If the teleprompter ever did go out, and it did quite, frequently, more so than you wanted it to, you just either looked down at your paperwork and then kept looking up.
Right.
Or you just ad-libbed. I mean,
Right.
Come on.
Can you imagine a news anchor? Today in Washington, D.C.
Oh, the teleprompter went out.
Oh, okay. I'm going to wait. Can you guys fix teleprompter? All right, let's go. This is so bad. This is so bad. Here comes Trump. Here he comes. He's coming around the corner, and there he goes. No, come on, to Joe Biden. What are the odds of our wheel stopping on Joe Biden twice in a row?
Such a big wheel, too.
And he is off the rails on this one.
I can't name a single country in the world that doesn't think. Put it this way. If we're not leading the world, who does? Not a joke. I'm not being wise guy. If we do not lead the world, what nation leads the world? Who pulls Europe together? Who tries to pull the Middle East together? How do we do the Indian Ocean?
What?
What do we do in Africa?
What?
We, the United States, lead the world.
What puts the ape in apricot? What do they got that I ain't got? Courage. Ken, I want you to we got to go back. If I make us late, I'm going to be mad at myself. Okay, this cut could have been very, very short. Go.
The beginning?
Yeah.
I can't name a single country
Stop.
in the world.
He can't name a single country in the world. He just should have left it at that.
Yeah.
Because he really can't. And I want you to understand, he said, not a joke.
Right.
Did you hear him?
He did.
Not a joke. Not no joke. I don't
Right.
know who started that.
I don't know. I did, probably.
We'll stop it. When he says something that we know is not true, he will say not a joke.
Right.
Maybe he said no joke once or twice, but not a joke is the way he did it. And I would also like to say that this has nothing to do with Joe Biden. If you're going to make a meme about something like having a dog in a suit and tie, he's a lawyer, and he's talking to other dogs, and he says, if your owner broke a treat in half and tried to pull it off as a full treat, you may be eligible for substantial compensation. The word substantial makes it funny.
Yes.
I saw one yesterday. You may be entitled to compensation. That's not funny.
No.
Do I have to teach the world how to be funny?
You do.
I can't. I don't have time. You could be eligible for substantial compensation. Oh, I get it. Not a joke. You're going to do a Joe Biden imitation?
Not a joke.
Not no joke. Not a joke.
Not a joke.
All right. Let's have it stop on somebody who's got a great voice and just the opposite of a great voice. Poor Leslie Stahl. She's eating crow.
We're at a point where if the president of the United States is going to say legacy media is dead, well, I guess Musk said that. Legacy media is dead.
And he wants it dead. He wants other media.
But it is kind of sort of hobbling right now. And I don't know how it recovers. I'm very dark about it.
Well, Biden just pardoned Hunter for what was on the laptop that Leslie Stahl said was fake. And Leslie doesn't know how the media recovers. Retire, Leslie. with all due respect, you're the reason why.
Yeah, I mean, that's simple, but it's true.
Or just tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Or when you're sitting across from Donald Trump, don't assume everything he's going to say to you is wrong or a lie. Leslie, they spied on my campaign. Sir, we can't verify that. Can you verify it now? Maybe that's why your legacy media is folding and hobbling.
Exactly. And they verified it around her. So she has to, and then they don't come back and say, well, we were wrong. Then they'll never say that.
No, they won't. You're right, Ken. They will never say, sorry, we were wrong. Can we do one more?
Yeah.
Yep. Spin the wheel. All right. I've been disappointed on just about every spin of the wheel here. Well, I'll be darned. Vic gets his way. President Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump.
I understand that on day one, you're going to be signing a flurry of executive orders. Can you give me just what are the top ones people should know about?
A lot of it will have to do with economics. A lot's going to have to do with energy. A lot's going to do with having to do with the border. We're going to immediately strengthen up the border and do a real job. And some of the basics.
Now, recently, President Trump said, getting grocery prices down is not going to be easy.
Right.
He didn't say he couldn't do it.
Right.
He said it's not going to be easy. Right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's the hard that makes it great.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And being energy dominant is the first piece of that puzzle.
Yes.
So don't you worry about it. They'll bring the grocery prices down. And don't worry, because he's coming.
Remember, they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Stupid Isaac Hayes family. YMCA, the dance song.
Yeah.
They made so much money.
Millions. He said, I'm making millions off this.
And had Isaac Hayes' family not been so stupid, said, go ahead, use it. We'll take the royalties. It'll be great. And now they don't, because Donald Trump plays the YMCA instead.
And I was thinking about this the other day. The family, Isaac Hayes' family, there are some in there probably that are like saying, hey, I would like to have made that money, people, and you screwed it up for me. Thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly probably what happened. All right, that's all the time we have for the Wheel of Audio Clips for another Friday. And this is Vic Porcelli saying, help control the liberal population. Have your liberal spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody. You know, I often wonder, when I say that every Friday, help control the liberal population, have your liberal spayed or neutered, because we're getting more listeners to the station every day, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, because we're the George Soros free radio station.
Yes.
Nobody making decisions for us. We'll make our own conservative decisions. Thank you very much. And so every Friday, first of all, when do we do That's Crap? On Mondays, Ken?
Yeah.
On Mondays, we do That's Crap. And at the end of that, I always say, just like Bob Barker did, this is Vic Porcelli, help control the pet population, have your pet spayed or neutered. And I believe in that. You know, have your pet spayed or neutered to help control the pet population.
No, and I actually like how you do that because that does help.
Yeah. And it'll help if you have your liberal spayed or neutered as well.
It will help. It'll help if you do that.
You are cracking me up.
Take them up and say, hey, I need my liberal spayed or neutered.
Can I have the calendar?
Yeah.
We have to talk about who's going to be doing this show the week that we're not here. Kenny and I are back for another week. And then we've got a whole bunch of great people coming in to fill in for us. This is December 23rd. Karen Cataline is going to do the whole show.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen and write down all the words that she uses that I never heard before.
Right.
All the eloquent ways that she talks, you know. And she'll talk about being Jewish, I'm sure. And she'll, you know, talk about being Italian, stuff like that. I love that she loves the Italian thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she loves The Godfather. And I am certainly interested in all the Jewish stuff, you know. I mean, she loves it.
Oh, yeah.
When we do the Jewish stuff, she doesn't get offended by it. The great Larry Connors is going to be doing this show on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
I mean, we talk to Larry every Friday. His Larry Connors USA every night from 6 to 8 o'clock here on News Talk STL. And also the great commentaries that he has at 7:30, 12:03, and 3:30 in the afternoon, right?
You nailed it.
I try. So Larry Connors on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, we have great Christmas programming like we do every year. And that's always fun to listen to with the family.
Yeah, keep the radio on through Christmas because we do a lot this special. It's very cool. I believe Tony primarily puts it together. And it's just been a nice tradition for the station.
So when you're opening presents and stuff, be sure you have the record player on during the day, right?
Right.
How about Senator Bill Eigel doing the show?
That's gonna be great.
That.
Yeah.
Air Force veteran, senator, almost governor. He almost made it. And Nate Lucas, get your seatbelt and lock it in when Nate Lucas comes up and does 2 hours for us on the 27th.
And I believe Jerome's going to be the producer for that show. And I am going to instruct Jerome to keep his finger right on top of the delay button.
I like that kid.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
All right. That's all the time we have. We got to go. Thank you so much. Ken Williams, take a bow, buddy, right now, right this second.
I don't know if I have that.
I told you to have it ready.
I don't have it.
You are killing me. So anyway, thank you for there we go. Hey, Ken Williams, take a bow. And thank you so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Bongino's next. We'll see you Monday at 9 on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
Sooner or later I'll be clocking in again. Someday I'll be able to look at my working day. Life will be grim because the ship is coming in. Everything will go my way and I won't have to say it on the weekend. It on the weekend. It on the weekend. My working week's so tough, I think I've had enough until the weekend. It on the weekend. It on the weekend. It on the weekend.
Tony Colombo here for the cleaning pros at Zero Res, the team we trust with keeping our home clean and healthy. And the folks at Zero Res know how important it is to you to have a clean, healthy home this holiday season. And that's why they have this great offer for you right now. Book a cleaning with Zero Res and mention the Colombo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129. Plus, you can take $75 off an air duct cleaning. Again, just mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or when you book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Nate Lucas here for the Village Bar in the heart of Des Peres. Since 1948, the Village Bar has been the go-to destination for delicious food, cold drinks, and unbeatable atmosphere. Savor their famous wings, burgers, and onion rings, or grab a drink from their fully stocked bar. Catch all the big games and enjoy the company of their friendly staff. Plus, don't miss the 1879 Distillery, a one-of-a-kind experience right next door. The Village Bar offers the best value in town. Find the Village Bar on Facebook and come experience where history meets great times. You'll be glad you did.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Hey, how you doing? Santa Vic here.
And Santa's head, Vic Head, here.
And you can win some great prizes with NewstalkSTL's St. Louis Conservative Christmas.
KLTY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is Newstalk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
Sauer from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. This week's collapse of the Assad regime in Syria is suddenly redefining the political situation in the entire Middle East. On the Salem Media Group news program This Week on the Hill with Tony Perkins, former Trump administration National Security Advisor John Bolton says Israel's role in this situation has really been a game changer in the region.
The effect, and really attributable largely to Israel's resolute determination to defeat the terrorists worldwide, has given us this opportunity, and it's a big chance to make fundamental change in the Middle East for the benefit of ourselves, the Israelis, and our Arab friends in the region.
Johnson's full This Week on the Hill broadcast will air on radio stations nationwide this weekend, as well as being broadcast at 10 a.m. Eastern Time Saturday on the Salem News Channel. Also at townhall.com, Russia has launched a massive aerial attack against Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia fired 93 cruise and ballistic missiles and almost 200 drones. He says it's one of the heaviest bombardments of the country's energy sector since that invasion began. U.S. senators from New York and New Jersey, they're asking the government to investigate a number of unexplained drone sightings over their states. Bob Agnew with the update in this report.
In a letter, the senators call on the Department of Homeland Security, the FAA, and the FBI to, quote, identify and address the source of the recent unmanned aerial system activity. Citing a threat to both civilian and military sites, the senators asked for a briefing as soon as possible. A Pentagon spokesperson told reporters there's no evidence the drones came from a foreign entity. Bob Agnew reporting.
On Wall Street, the Dow losing 13 points and the NASDAQ Composite 9 points in the red. More at townhall.com.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989898.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Rain arrives for us tomorrow morning, but we are dry on this Friday. After another chilly start, we'll climb to about 43 this afternoon. Considerable cloud cover across the area. Cloudy tonight with temperatures leveling off around 37 degrees. A thorough soaking on Saturday. Steady rain from the morning into the afternoon, tapering off in the evening and Saturday night. But this is all rain for us. No ice, with a high tomorrow at 48 degrees. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Replacing your roof is always a big deal and a big decision. That's why I want you to call my friends, the folks that we've trusted with our homestead, Eureka Contracting and Roofing. 636-938-ROOF. That's 636-938-ROOF. They are veteran-owned, over 30 years of experience in the construction and insurance industry. They'll replace 100% of your roof, siding, fascia, and gutters. They'll come to you with a personal consultation. Give them a call anytime that Mother Nature strikes you. 636-938-ROOF. Available 24/7 at eurekacontracting.com. That's eurekacontracting.com.
Parents want more choices rather than fewer when it comes to their children's education. And now some Missouri parents will have one more option to get their children the best education available. Low-income students and those with disabilities in Missouri's largest communities can now apply for an Empowerment Scholarship Account, or ESA. With an ESA, the money the state would normally pay to your child's public school goes into an account that you control. You can use the funds for private school tuition, online learning programs, a private tutor, or other approved uses. You can tailor your child's education. For too long, Missouri officials have operated on the mistaken notion that parents only need one choice. They're assigned public school based on their address. ESAs put parents in charge. It's school choice at its best, with money following the students to the place that best fits their needs. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
The Republican Party of the City of St. Louis wishes you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, no matter how you celebrate the season. Join the City of St. Louis Republicans for their annual holiday party, December 18th at PH Rose. There'll be a silent auction, raffle, and plenty of holiday cheer. Go to stl-gop.com to get your tickets and learn more. The City of St. Louis Republicans wish you a joyous holiday season and a prosperous new year.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC, Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
All the information I need on the drive to work.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. We keep it on throughout the day, whether it's local, national, or something big that's happening overseas.
News, analysis, and opinion.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
So yeah, yesterday's show was one of those shows. I think I even threw producer Jim for a loop because he usually when you're on the radio with a guy. I mean, sometimes. Jim, I'm with you more during the day than I am with Paula. I mean, if Paula's got to take my daughter to volleyball and they got a school event, I may see her an hour a day. Not Jim, producer Jim, 3 hours a day. He is stuck. We are face-to-face on the Skype, but we're still, looking at each other here. And we're together a lot. So it's very rare that Jim is kind of thrown for a loop. Of course, there was the arrest of the suspect. And again, the suspect, everyone is entitled to due process. I can't say that enough. Luigi Mangione in the United Healthcare CEO. And right, Jim, you had no idea where I was going with it. You even looked at me a little confused, like, because I was really caught off guard. So if you missed it, it was like, yeah, he was watching me, man. Brothers and sisters, he was watching me. And he just said, I don't know if his mic was on or not, but he said it was like Dan saw a ghost. Because this thing took a personal turn, right quick, as I've heard people say down south. I didn't know what to do. So for those of you who missed it, this suspect in this case, Luigi Mangione, in the United Healthcare CEO assassination, is related to a guy I knew for a long time, a guy, Nino Mangione. And I have to say, what's happening to the family over there, I'll tell you how I knew him in a second, is really, really disgraceful. The family has nothing to do with this at all. People have family members, Jim, I mean, you and I have personal experience. People have family members that do stuff all the time. It's painful enough that, and again, the guy's a suspect. There's nothing proven in court yet. However, it's a troubling case, and you have to deal with kind of two forks getting stuck in you. The first one is that the pain of having to deal with a family member who's done something bad, which you're dealing with personally because you don't want family members to do bad stuff. But then the second thing is people want to somehow obscenely, immorally, and unethically kind of pin the blame on you. Folks, again, I've dealt with this stuff. It's really disgusting. The family has nothing to do with it at all. This young man, if it turns out he was the guy, when he's given his due process, made his own decisions in his own life. And it's really troubling because I know the cousin very well. And the reason I know him and why I was kind of shocked on the air yesterday, for those of you who lived through that moment with me, is they gave me my start in radio. The family, I believe, owns or has a big ownership stake in a radio station in Baltimore. It's a big radio station too, WCBM. And I worked there for years. I was one of their roster of fill-in hosts. I used to do Christmas mornings. I filled in for Tom Marr, God rest his soul, very popular host. He's since passed. I used to do the morning show. They had Sean and Frank, and then Sean later on a different fill-in. And I would fill in for anyone at WCBM. And that was my start in radio. I don't know if those clips are still out there, but it's funny if you go back and you listen to that stuff in my early rookie amateur days, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, is this even the same guy? I kind of like got the rust off my radio persona at WCBM. And I want to say to the crew over there, I'll always be grateful. And Nino Mangione, cousin of this suspect, could not have been a more gracious or patriotic. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who loves his country. He's a state Republican delegate, Jim, in Maryland. You're like, there are Republicans in Maryland? Yes, shockingly, there are. So what's happening to that family is just disgusting. So the reason I bring it up is the Mangione family put out a statement last night, and I'm telling you personally, if you believe anything your humble host, Dan Bongino, has ever told you, this is an amazing family. An amazing family. They really, really love. You know how much they do for charity in that area? Ask anyone in the Baltimore County. They do stuff in Baltimore City too, but for those of you unfamiliar with Maryland, Baltimore, and if you're in Maryland, you're probably laughing. Like, everybody knows this. No, not everybody is. You have Baltimore City, and then you have Baltimore County. They're not the same thing. Baltimore County is a very large area. It's distinct from Baltimore City. So the Mangione family put out a statement. They said, unfortunately, we can't comment on news reports regarding Luigi. We only know what we've read in the media. Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. We offer our prayers to the family of Brian Thompson. We ask people to pray for all involved. We're devastated by the news, the Mangione family. Folks, these are really unbelievably good people. And I'm going to tell you, I personally known them for a very long time. This is not a new relationship. And a friend of mine who is also a delegate, a Republican delegate in the state of Maryland, my friend Brian, had reached out yesterday and said that, there was some disgusting, gross people coming after the family as if they had anything to do with this. And I think that's really horrible. And that's kind of why yesterday happened the way it did. It's live radio, and it's probably the first time in 4 years on the air, 3.5 years, whatever it's been, that I really didn't know what to say. If I'm running out of words, then there's an issue. I really didn't know what to say. And one of the reasons it hit me like it did, if you listen to yesterday's show or the podcast this morning, is when the picture of the suspect in the taxi, you know the one I'm talking about, where he's kind of peeking his head through the partition in the taxi. You can look it up on X or social media if you want to see the picture. But it's the suspect here, Luigi Mangione, sticking his head through you've seen a New York City taxi, there's that partition window you can kind of slide open. And he's sticking his head through, and you see his face partially covered by one of those, COVID face diaper type masks. I swear to you on everything I've got, man, I'm like, my gosh, this guy looks familiar. And I just couldn't pin down what it was, because he looks a lot like his cousin, and I hadn't, seen him in a long time. But that's why I was so freaked out by the whole thing. And it all happened on the air. When they said, breaking, and they released the name and then showed the picture, and I saw online that the fact that in fact Nino and the Mangione family were related, man, you want to talk about a kick in the, my gosh. It was really hard to take on air, because I knew they were going to be subject to just character assassination. And that is, and believe me, pun intended, and that is exactly what happened. And it's really disgusting. Folks, I've got a lot to talk about with this case, because there's just, we live obviously in a politically divided country. I mean, like chasmic divides. I mean, really like Grand Canyon, like wide divides. And I know there's always this kind of confirmation bias that you live in the worst time ever, when in fact you don't. But I can speak and produce receipts that, whether it's cross kind of ballot voting, when people vote for a Democrat governor or Republican congressman, or when you look at gerrymanders, or how we've had political landslides in the past and not so much anymore. We do live in a different country now. The divisions in the country right now are so real that they're going to be hard to fix. But when you look at these true crime tragedies going on right now, the Jordan Neely, Daniel Penny case in New York, and the case of suspect Luigi Mangione and Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO, and this assassination that happened on the street, they're such fascinating and interesting cases to so many people. I mean, the podcast audience this morning was incredible. We had like a ticker problem on it. I think there's a little glitch in one of the apps, but we're fixing that. But the audience was incredible. I think it's because so many people understand what I'm about to tell you, that these cases aren't about just individual crimes. Crimes are tragedies anytime they happen. However, if your son or daughter gets robbed on the bus of their milk money, it's a terrible thing and it's awful, leaves some psychological scars. But it's not necessarily a story someone in California is going to care about if it happened in Florida. The reason these stories resonate is they speak to such larger issues we're having right now in the society with these chasm-like divides. Race, crime, health insurance, the feeling that CEOs live in a different world than others, the feeling that violence is permissible as long as it's political, but it's your cause. These are all issues that have bubbled up, that are sitting there right now, and these cases really speak to that. So what I'm going to do today is we got a lot to get to. I'm going to talk about the confirmation process, big updates on Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel. The news is breaking left and right on that. But I also want to open up the show today, as I've been talking about the Penny case and the Mangione case and how they speak to larger issues. And how I think, I know this isn't the typical, I can get really fiery in these opens sometimes about these things. But I think it's really important that we understand, especially in the Penny and Mangione cases, that this was not justice either way. Daniel Penny did not receive justice yesterday. What are you talking about, Dan? He was acquitted. Folks, he should never have been charged. He should never have been charged. To put someone through a show trial for a clearly made up fabricated crime is not justice. And I'm not going to say it is, ever. But on the other side, speaking to other issues about how liberals want to paint us as the haves and have-nots, but yet they keep stealing from you, making you a have-not. What happened to the United Healthcare CEO was most certainly not justice either. It was murder. It was murder. And that the left, and yes, the left, you're not seeing any of this kind of stuff with any significant figures on the right. I'm not talking about fringe losers. I'm talking about people with followings. You've seen none of this. They've called it what it is, a murder. Amongst the left, hey, you see these people with an audience, amongst these liberal communist influencers, hinting that somehow what happened to this guy, this healthcare CEO in the streets of Manhattan is justice. Folks, we got to do our best to squash that right now. Because if that's what you really believe, that murder is permissible because of a business disagreement with CEOs, and what's next? Politicians? What about the hot dog guy on the corner selling you soubrettes or something like that? Does he go next? What about the bagel guy down the block? What about the Dunkin' Donuts guy? What about the company down the block selling you a Subway sandwich? You ever disagree? What is it? You see how once you start to justify these things, you see how it cascades downhill? And chaos is the only logical endgame then? No, we got to do our best to squash that. I'm not going to take part in that. I got a big show for you today, a lot lined up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-581-1414. That's 800-581-1414.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you have oxalate crystal stones, tea time is not your cup of tea. That has changed. The makers of Kidney Cop introduced Veloxa Very Low Oxalate Teas. Teas that are high in flavor, but low in oxalates. Veloxa's delicious proprietary tea blends are scientifically tested to ensure low oxalate levels so you can take back tea time. That's Veloxa, Veloxa, Very Low Oxalate Teas on Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com.
Sponsored by Calcium Oxalate Labs, Inc.
Dan Bongino.
Hey, it's First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton from Channel 4, and we are proud to be the official weather source for News Talk STL. Just like you've grown to expect from us at Channel 4, you can expect the same accurate, detailed, and timely weather coverage from News Talk STL. The First Alert weather team will keep you ahead of the big weather changes. And the one thing you can count on in St. Louis, the weather is constantly changing. So Channel 4 and News Talk STL are committed to keeping you up to date and safe.
To our brave police officers and first responders, we say thank you for risking your lives to protect us. To all the incredible volunteers who've joined hands with the David Dorn Foundation to raise funds for equipment and services, we extend our heartfelt gratitude. We stand strong with our volunteers who give their time, talent, and dedication as a shield of support for those who rush into danger. The David Dorn Foundation gives a big thank you from our heart to yours. Visit dornfoundation.com and join as a volunteer.
Tony Colombo here for the Farmers Co-op Old Town Country Store in Old Town St. Peters, where they have a huge selection of products and services for your yard and home, including a full line of lawn and garden products, a full line of products for animal care, and that includes anything from livestock to the family dog or cat. They'll fill any size propane tank for about half the price of a new one, and so much more. Visit them in St. Peters on 2nd Street, right behind the QT at 70 and Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. And check out all their products and services at oldtowncountrystore.com.
Hi, I'm Rodney Wallner.
And I'm Jen Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Jen, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission plan?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What's the best time to sell your home?
Right now, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
Hey, how you doing? Santa Vic here.
And Santa's head, Vic Head, here.
And you can win some great prizes with Newstalk STL's St. Louis Conservative Christmas.
You forgot the ho-ho-ho. You forgot the ho-ho-ho.
Oh.
No, ho-ho.
Oh.
A St. Louis Conservative Christmas. Log on to NewstalkSTL.com for your chance to win. Brought to you by Woods and Stonefire, Tropical World Pets, El Morelia Supermercado, and Metro Shooting Supplies.
Oh.
How'd you like to eliminate your expensive cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well, now you can have affordable satellite internet service for a few dollars a day. All you need is a mini satellite installed, and you can have unlimited internet connections wirelessly in your home or office. And no cable boxes means unlimited connections and no clutter. You can surf the internet or stream any of your favorite television services with no cable. And the best part is, satellite internet service costs only a few dollars a day for your entire home. Yes, fast internet to surf or stream television for a few bucks a day. Call now for free details and learn how to drop your expensive cable bill.
800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
Make us part of your holiday this year.
I'll be home for the holidays, in the White House, 4 more years.
With the Newstalk STL Family Christmas.
'Tis the season to build the wall.
We'll share personal stories and play our favorite Christmas songs.
The silent night for sleepy Joe Biden.
Starting Christmas Eve at 6.
He's tired.
And Christmas morning at 6.
Newstalk STL's Family Christmas.
Brought to you by Jules on Hampton, PJ's Coffee, and Dirty Dan's Pizza.
News, analysis, opinion.
Newstalk STL.
We are the news now. The Dan Bongino Show.
We are the news now, and they hate us for it, though. It's not just, this is not going to be some, uneventful transfer of power, folks. The left-wing media can't give up on the fact that we are the media now. I was reading something this morning, and I'm going to get to it later in more detail. Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, and Kash Patel, nominees for critical positions in the incoming Trump administration. There's an interesting Politico piece out this morning, and it implies that, if not directly says, that Joni Ernst and others were basically shocked and floored at the power of this MAGA sphere influencer space. Well, I don't know what you were shocked about. I mean, none of it is private. You know what I'm saying? Like, all you have to do is go and look at what they call VOD numbers, video on demand numbers. All you have to do is go and look at people's live streams. Go look at Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon and Steve Crowder and My Show and Benny Johnson, and you'll say to yourself, wow, these guys have really big audiences. It's not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of numbers. But they're stunned by that because we are the media now. Sorry, that liner made me think of that. We are. We have the numbers and they don't. No any other way to say it. But that's why it bothers me that I saw on cable news this morning. I was watching an interview, and I get what the host was trying to say. And I'm not suggesting he was trying to be a jerk about it. But one of the hosts was like, well, kind of thank God Nathaniel Penny, the subway case in New York. Thankfully, justice was served. And I have to say, and not trying to be devil's advocate, that justice was in no way served. Folks, this is not a marker of justice. If this had happened, I live in Martin County, Florida. Martin County is just north of Palm Beach County. I'm about 45 minutes from Mar-a-Lago. Listen, I can't prove it counterfactual, but I can tell you with a reasonable degree of certainty that if what happened on that subway car had happened on the streets of Martin County, a guy in a contained area, say in a store or someplace they couldn't get out of, I don't know, doors locked and broken, because that's what happens in a subway. The reason that case was as troubling as it was because you're in the subway tube and you can't get out. What are you going to do? Jump off a moving train? You're stuck. So there's really no corollary, but we don't have a subway here. So again, say it's like a deli, bagel shop, doesn't matter. And you can't get out. The doors are locked. And you've got a guy inside this bagel store saying to people, someone in here is going to die. I am almost 100% certain that if you were to take action to restrain that person with a history of criminality, and he tragically dies, I don't wish anybody death on anyone, that you would be lauded as a hero for taking action and defending other people's lives. You wouldn't be thrown under the bus. But that's what happened. He was thrown under the Twinkies bus with Alvin Bragg, who again got wrecked and beclowned yet again. And then I heard again people this morning saying, oh, this, thank God the justice system worked. Folks, this is not the justice system. I would be really cautious in New York. I really would. I think in New York after this case, despite the fact that Daniel Penny was acquitted, and again, I wish people would stop saying innocent. He's not innocent. There's no innocent standard in the justice system. Nobody's innocent. It's not guilty. There's a big difference. But this is justice delayed, which you've heard me saying many times, is not justice. Justice would have been him getting a pat on the back from the police department saying, thank you for defending these people. We wish it hadn't happened this way, but it did. Have a nice day. Now he's got a civil. Hey, for over 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, standing behind their service and their values as a company. They put the cause ahead of profits. I'm proud to partner with them. They're a great example. Right now, you can get their Every Friday Matters special today. Patriot Mobile is giving away a brand new smartphone when you make the switch. Patriot Mobile offers exceptional nationwide coverage, giving you access to all three major networks without your dollars funding the left. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're supporting a company that believes in free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, and more. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your number, and for a limited time, get a free smartphone. Go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT and use promo code Friday. Again, that's a free smartphone. Offers eligible only with the promo code Friday. It's a limited time offer or until supplies run out. Terms and conditions apply. Join me and make the switch today. patriotmobile.com/Dan, patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT.
Dan Bongino.
Are you paying too? With SRN News, I'm John Scott. More than 3,700 residents returning to their Malibu homes as weather conditions improved enough to help firefighters battling a Southern California blaze. Calmer winds and rising humidity aided firefighters as they climbed through steep canyons to fight the Franklin fire. The weather improved so much that meteorologists said all red flag warnings were discontinued. The Franklin fire only 20% contained. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has met with President-elect Donald Trump's incoming border czar. Adams met with Tom Homan after the mayor has expressed an enthusiasm to work with the incoming administration to pursue criminals in New York City, while Trump promises mass deportations of people living in the country illegally. On Wall Street, stocks have turned lower. The Dow is dropping 94 points and the NASDAQ composite down a dozen. This is SRN News.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989898.
If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
The far left wants to destroy conservative values in America.
This is News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
What's the best way to get rid of a timeshare that you don't want? Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline. We're a group of attorneys that help customers legally exit their timeshares. It's an easy process. We guarantee results or you pay nothing. Exit your timeshare today. Call now.
800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
On the next Larry Connors USA.
Trump says he's thinking about inviting more people to his inauguration who might be a little risky. What does that mean?
Larry Connors USA.
Now weeknights 6 until 8
on News Talk STL.
News, analysis, opinion.
News Talk STL.
We're in charge now. The Dan Bongino Show.
Yeah, don't let anybody convince you into that. It's really important. You know, words matter and language matters. Matters a lot, obviously. I mean, what separates us from beasts is that we can communicate ideas and understand. You think a dog understands what's in another dog's mind? They sniff their butts. That's what they do. They have a little bit of information, but they're never going to understand deep thoughts. A dog doesn't understand the history of dogs because it can't be explained to the dog. You're not going to get that from sniffing another dog's butt. Language matters. So, you know, when people on cable news and elsewhere who are speaking to a larger audience say things like, well, you know, the justice system worked here in the Daniel Penny case, I strongly, you know, a few good men strenuously object. I object. No, I strenuously object. No, I do. This was not justice at all. This guy should have never been in a courtroom. If there was ever a case for the justified use of physical force in a confined situation where there was no easy avenue for escape, this was it. You've got a guy with a long and extensive criminal history who is threatening the lives of people in a confined subway car, a guy with a history of violent behavior. There's no way out. You got a guy who restrains him. Tragically, guy dies. I don't believe Daniel Penny intended to kill him at all. And then you've got a bunch of left-wing vultures calling for this guy to be tried for criminally negligent homicide and manslaughter. Are you insane? I mean, what I don't understand from all the left-wing lunatics, goofballs, and people out there with some dumb to say on the air, what the hell would you want this guy to do? Here, for all the smartasses out there, this isn't you. I don't mean to disrespect you. I'm talking about the morons. You know, we're on in a lot of left-wing cities, so once in a while, some left-wing loser will tune into this show with some dumbass idea. You're sitting there with your wife and kid in the subway car, right? You're sitting there with your wife and kid in the subway car. Some guy gets up, and you can just sense something's wrong. He then says on the car something to the effect of someone here is going to die or someone's going to get killed. Forgive me, I don't remember the exact, but that's the gist of what he was saying. He doesn't stop, and you're between stops. You can't get off that train. What do you do if he makes some kind of a move towards your wife or kid? I mean, he's openly threatening you. Now, you may ask yourself, you know, what's the standard here? Well, the standard is reason. What would a reasonable person do? Well, I can tell you what a reasonably brave person would do. They would restrain that person so he doesn't kill someone, which is exactly what happened. So after the verdict yesterday, Daniel Penny, and by the way, none of this is over. The criminal portion may be over for now, but he's still subject to a multi-million-dollar civil suit by the family. And I need you to remember, there's obviously a difference between civil and criminal trials. I know you know that. But the standard for evidence is a lot lower in a civil trial. And my experience with civil trials is, even though the facts of the case don't change, Jordan Neely is still dead, and Daniel Penny did what he did. Nothing's going to change the past. This isn't Back to the Future, right? The difference is, in a criminal trial, you've got jurors who understand if they make the wrong call, a guy's going to go to jail. So sensible jurors err on the side of, I'd rather have 1,000 guilty men go free than one innocent guy go to jail. It's just my experience. You may be an attorney out there and feel differently. I've got my own set of experiences. Criminal cases, good, solid jurors take that really seriously. Gosh, we're going to put this guy in jail. That matters. Civil cases, they still take their job seriously, but you got to remember there's no threat of jail time. And the evidentiary standard for a judgment against you in a civil case is not beyond the reasonable doubt. I know a lot of you know this, but it's worth kind of relitigating today a little bit, no pun intended there. Beyond any reasonable doubt. In other words, if you were going to send Daniel Penny to jail on a guilty verdict, there's no innocent verdict. I hate when people say that on social media. It drives me freaking bananas. He was declared innocent. Nobody's innocent of anything, okay? He was declared not guilty. There's a big difference. If you were going to declare someone's legal guilt, you have to prove every element of the crime unanimously with all of the jurors beyond any reasonable doubt. Doesn't include unreasonable doubts. Doesn't include, space Martians came out and infected him with one of those sandworms from the Wrath of Khan. They put it in his ear, and that's not a reasonable doubt, okay? That was Ricardo Montalban in Star Trek 2, okay? That's not a reasonable doubt, bro. Civil cases don't work that way. Daniel Penny's life is still thrown up in the air. This guy could be held responsible in a civil case where the standard for a verdict against you is the preponderance of evidence. Basically is the weight of the evidence for or against you. And I find in civil cases, having dealt with this stuff in the legal system for a long time, that jurors and judges in these cases, outside and divorced from the standard of evidence, are much more lenient against, not lenient, I'm using the wrong word, I'm sorry, are more likely to kind of drop the hammer on you. Because the numbers don't even seem real. Like, whatever, like some insurance company or something's going to pay for something. Not in the case of this guy. Jim, cue up for me, cut one. So this was Daniel Penny yesterday. After the verdict, he stopped in a local bar and was having a drink with his attorneys. And he made a really short, this is only about 15 seconds. He made a short statement, and then his lawyers jumped in. Here's an unpopular opinion. Please don't jump down my throat. It's just Dan's opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. Fox has been scoring some pretty amazing interviews lately. They got Pete Hegseth last night on Hannity. Judge Janine got Daniel Penny today, which apparently is going to air on the 5. And then I think the full interview on Nation, Fox Nation afterwards. It's a huge interview, probably the biggest interview in the country right now. My IMHO here, my humble opinion, right? I don't think Penny should be doing interviews. I think it's a big mistake. I think he should wait till this civil litigation is over. I know that I understand. I know it's an unpopular opinion. Some of you, let me check the Rumble chat. Am I getting filleted right now in the Rumble chat? Jim, you got a Rumble chat checkup. Everybody in the Rumble chat, let me know. I think it's a bad call. Oh, good. Tex, TX, Regatta, McGraw, one of the McGroinkers. Dan, I agree. Thank you. 100%. Obelisk says 100% too. I think it's a big mistake. It's everything he says will be introduced in the civil trial. And if even a single misstep, he's a super smart guy. You can tell from the way he was interviewed with the police that there was no ill intent. I think that's why he got off in the criminal case. But I really think, I understand he wants to tell his story. He looks like a good and decent human being, a patriot, a Marine. He wanted to help. And he wants to tell his story, and I completely understand. But lawyers, especially civil case lawyers like this, when there are millions of dollars at stake in this kind of publicity, what was that? PB Blackley says, I agree. Thank you. Yeah, I say nothing. Right. Well, who says I'm wrong? Who's it? Stock SD. Disagree. Why? Stock SD. Tell me why. There's nothing good that can come out of it at this point for him. After the civil case, it's different. Once the civil case is over, it's different. I think it's a big mistake. I wouldn't do it. And, having a good body of experience with a lot of this stuff in the legal system, I think it's a huge mistake. Because, folks, also, there is a sad but intentional attempt to racially polarize this case. Now, this case has nothing to do with race. There were black men and women on that train car who assisted Daniel Penny, who happens to be white, in restraining Jordan Neely. The case has nothing to do with race. Period. Full stop-a-roo for all the liberal bags listening right now. Like, that racist. Nobody's listening to you idiots. The reason there were no major riots in the street is because you exhausted your credibility with the BLM Antifa riots, okay? Nobody wants to go back to that. Nobody believes you anymore. They see what happens when you feed these ridiculous narratives. Cops are hunting down and shooting black men in the street. There is no evidence of that being a systemic problem at all. You made this stuff up. Everybody understands the grift now. Anything he says that's taken even remotely out of context in this interview, and not that Judge Janine won't do a good job, she's terrific, is going to be used by the hustlers. And I find race hustlers to be the most repulsive members of society outside of rapists and pedophiles. I really do. Because what bothers me about them, Jim, cue up for me, cut two, is this guy I'm going to play next, this guy Hawk Newsom, who was the co-founder of BLM. He's just disgusting filth. Is that he hides behind this, and this is why a lot of commentators are afraid to criticize him, because Hawk Newsom happens to be black.